call me the GOAT. We are not the same, never take floats. Go against the grain, but he just a host. I'm not entertained, I just want to pip and no attention, all lame. I've been going hard since the day that it came. From the AM to the PM, motherfucker better pay him. Let it working on my nerves, but a spot for a slam. Know some Tommy's in the loo, wait for me to okay him. No, this pussy nigga didn't say that. Send a shockwave through his wave cap. Put my balls on the table, feel the way. What you did to the homie, motherfucker, this is payback. Homie really know I been bucketed, really tears nothing. The head button, I'm head busting, I fear nothing. TV Stone, the wish master with collar tips, I'm ready to beer something. Let me talk about it. Pull up to the block with the chop. Touch a couple limbs, I'ma walk them down. This is not your ordinary hot box. Team Stone niggas, we don't fuck around. When I leave the scene, there's a man down. 911, call the paramedics. Self-made nigga, no handouts. Big Stone, go and check the analytics.
Mud, came with the grind. Lately I've been feeling like it's my time to shine. Put it all on the line, working overtime. I won't ever stop till I get what's mine. Got it out the mud, came with the grind. Lately I've been feeling like it's my time to shine. Put it all on the line, working overtime. I won't ever stop till I get what's mine. Look at how I'm making shit happen. 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 Got it out the mud, came with the grind. Lately I've been feeling like it's my time to shine. Put it all on the line, working overtime. I won't ever stop till I get what's mine. 2017 was a letdown. 2018 was the downfall. 2019 had to rebuild. 2020 I've been like fuck y'all. 2021 I'ma knock it out the park. About to cut them all up like a chainsaw. Fuck what it was, cause it is what it is, and it's about time for me to come and maim y'all. They wasn't fucking with me back when I was down in the gutter, but they better recognize that I'm that motherfucker. About to come, about to rubber, bounce back like rubber. Gonna get it out the mud, independent grind hustle. Piece by piece I've been building this puzzle, while the people that doubted me still stuck in the struggle. Roaming in the jungle, in the forming sewer tunnels. I won't never say uncle, grip tight like knuckles. Middle finger up in the face of the people that said I wouldn't make it. Y'all can all burn in hell. Had to fall a couple times, but the win has no meaning if you ain't never failed. I know it too well. I'm back for the throne. To the ones that did me wrong, I'ma make it be known that I'm still going strong. Motherfucker, I belong. I've earned my place. Now the back of the line is where you'll be gone. Got it out the mud, came with the grind. Lately I've been feeling like it's my time to shine. Put it all on the line, working overtime. I won't ever stop till I get what's mine. Got it out the mud, came with the grind. Lately I've been feeling like it's my time to shine. Put it all on the line, working overtime. I won't ever stop till I get what's mine. Look at how I'm making shit happen. 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 Got it out the mud, came with the grind. Lately I've been feeling like it's my time to shine. Put it all on the line, working overtime. I won't ever stop till I get what's mine.
What is up, pimps? It's your boy Cree. Sorry. What did you miss, Kevin? Man. Well, you haven't missed anything yet. You ready for a bomb-ass episode? I got a really bomb-ass guest. Now, I know it's been over about a month since I've been on this whole YouTube thing. Sorry, this hat's kind of big. Anywho, I've had some things come up. I want to go ahead and knock out right now because I haven't said anything online except for what was shown on Facebook. But I just want to say R.I.P. to my father. He passed away a couple weeks ago. You know, stuff like that. So I just wanted to somehow, like, some way dedicate this for him, you know, because this is the first episode back. But hopefully we can get back in the swing of things now that business has been taken care of and all that. But tonight I have a special guest that I requested to come on. That track you heard at the beginning was Stevie Stone, or excuse me, it was SAMIAM featuring Stevie Stone. Don't get it twisted. He featured Stevie, okay? Awesome motherfucking track. Other than that, I got my guests ready to come on. You guys ready to see? Let's go ahead and bring them on. Let's bring on SAMIAM.
What up?
Hey, what's up? What's up, man?
Man, how you been? Hey, real quick, I just heard you talk about it. Just want to give my condolences to you and your
Thanks,
family.
man. Thanks.
Everybody out there on the YouTube land and the Facebook land and all that shit. He ain't lying. We got one hell of an episode tonight.
Oh yeah, I figured, and I appreciate, you taking time out of your busy day to stop by my rinky dinky ass show and do some kind of a thing,
Hey, no rinky dinky ass show. I'm sitting here on my front porch with a microphone and on my whole setup. So.
It looks good. It looks good.
Yeah.
I requested to bring you on, and you agreed. So I appreciate it so much. There's been a lot go on since, I've spoken to you all last, because I'm going to knock this out of the way. I met you all with the guys, Dark Hills Gang, at the Twisted Psychomania 2017 tour in our hometown, Memphis, Tennessee.
Fucking CMOC.
Yeah. You were under the stage named CMOC. You and that one fella, y'all opened,
Yeah.
Was that a pretty intimidating show or what? I mean,
that was my first ever show.
Wow.
Like I had never. And let me rephrase that. That was my first ever rap show. I had played the Daisy twice, but I'd been playing drums for this organization I was with called School Rock Memphis.
That's right. You're a musician, yeah. So you specialize in the drums, I guess?
I did. I
And guitar?
stopped drumming and all of that so that I could focus on being a hip hop artist. And
Yeah.
we'll get into that later because right now it's a clusterfuck out here with that. But
Well, COVID didn't help anything at all,
regardless of COVID, though, this was a 2-year process of it just becoming a total clusterfuck. But there are still some good people out here. I'm not going to say a whole lot of names just because that would take for fucking ever. There are more good than bad. It's just, the few bad apples have made it fucking insufferable. But it's whatever. So here we go.
Well, I felt like you had a very, very interesting story to tell, seeing how you are an example of what growth looks like. You've went through the name changes. I mean, who hasn't? Sometimes you got to get in where you fit in, et cetera, et cetera. Like I said, the things we all experience together, we've cut some tracks out there together.
Yeah, we even
cut
got
some
a
tracks.
song, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got quite a few. And then, the Dark Hills Gang. I've been wanting to get those guys on forever, but it's hard to get two people together at the same time, and then with their schedules and my schedule, and just, I've asked, I'm patient, I'll wait. It's going to be a good one, guys, when I do get them. But I want to say, this is fitting for you to come on, because like I said, we have a history to a degree. I want to say you were like the little brother of the crew,
That's accurate.
There's been some ups and downs. We're going to cover all of that tonight, if that's okay with you.
Hey, I'm all for it, man.
All right, well, where would you like to start? I mean, do you want to start at the CMOC days?
I was about to say, because it just depends on your time, but I can give you a short version or I can give you the version that makes sense.
Well, A, we've got all night, and B, you don't have to talk that fast, so.
Cool. All right, well, we'll start at the beginning.
Let's talk about your music. What really pushed you to get into rapping?
Well, I'm going to be that, generic guy. I heard somebody, it was ICP. I heard them rapping. I was like, well, this is better than what I'm hearing from the mainstream nowadays. And
I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry to cut you off. Guys, I want to say he was a Juggalo rapper, right? You still are kind of horrorcore?
No. I've cut off from that scene, and we'll get into that later. But
okay,
that's where I was going. 2016, I was kind of developing my sound a little bit. I was still in high school. Like I was a senior in high school that year. So I had been to this audio production class that didn't teach me shit, but it taught me how to basically use GarageBand. And all of a sudden I thought I was the next fucking, Tech Nine, Twisted. I'm going to make it off one fucking album. I looked like a damn junkie. I'm not even.
We all have those dreams. I'm going to make it one day, I'm going
to make it one day. It's going to be, I'm going to release this first ever release after never releasing a song, and I'm going to blow the hell up. But I blame that a lot on how you see a lot of mainstream bullshit is, oh, this is his first tape. And then you find out, oh, he bought like 7,000 plays to make it look like he's popping. But so December of 2016 into January, I came up with this persona, we'll say, And then all it is my last name backwards. Everybody,
Yeah, I noticed that. That was pretty slick.
People, where the fuck you come up with that name? That sounds so cool. Is it Samok? Is it Seamock? I'm just like, it's literally just my last name backwards, because you look at my name and it's spelled Combs. It's really pronounced Comey, but it's like, who the fuck cares? Like,
What is that, French?
yeah. It has to do with my family came over and started in, I believe, New Orleans, and had a big deal with the church down there and all that. And we came from France and the Roman times. It's a Roman translation for like general, like cut motherfuckers' heads off, general. So I was like, you know what?
Jeremy.
It sounds cool, but whatever. But started with CMOT, put out this little mixtape called Eclipse that year. It's 2017 now. And I'm like, all right, I got the face paint and I got the fucking growl.
Yeah. You were in face paint. That's where I had kind of put together the whole Juggalo puzzle pieces of figuring it out, because the other guys, they, I want to say they were like your mentors. I mean, you came out with them. They were out well before you, but when I met you all, it was all together at once at this show. And you had your own set with that one guy. They had their own set.
We will talk about him later. He does have a name. We'll get into that in a little later. But
Okay.
The most important detail about all of this was to think that I thought I was this badass Juggalo rapper, and my face paint literally, I looked like a goddamn panda.
Oh shit! Yeah,
that was the cherry on the cake, and this is reason one of like 7 that CMOC was just dead on impact on arrival. Like,
so even you was telling yourself, you were like, self, this can't turn out pretty, right?
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is all do it yourself at home kind of shit. And I was recording in my damn bedroom on GarageBand. I didn't know anything about stacking vocals, so I'd do one take.
Yeah,
put like 8 tracks of that same take down, and I was like,
I want to say we all used to beat into you about that shit, because you'd send us over some tracks and we'd be like, bro, double it up. It sounds so much harder, man.
Right. You'll hear the evolution over time. But I moved to Spokane, or just outside Spokane. It was a little small town called Republic, Washington.
Okay.
And I did that literally the day after the Twisted show. The day after.
The day after?
Yeah, the day after. It was meet Dark Hills Gang, meet Cree, do this badass show, and move the fuck away.
You must have already had your shit packed on the way out the door, like hours prior to the show, huh?
You have to understand, at the time I was engaged, and
I do remember that.
We were like, okay, I got to get the fuck out of Memphis. She wanted to go back home. She was from up there. We had this plan. So, and then my last semester of senior year, I did not go to class at all. I thought I was making moves to CMOC, so I'd go to the gym and write these fucking...
You were about to drop out of everything and say, I'm fixing to hit it big and be the best rapper alive.
Right. What about
We've all had those dreams, huh, guys?
One of the classes I went to, my teacher was like, so what are your plans after vacation? I'm like, after school. I said, well, literally the day after school gets out, I'm moving to Washington and I'm getting married. Fuck y'all.
Damn.
And the whole class was like, the mic drop. Oh, I was like, it's not that big a fucking deal, guys. But got to Spokane.
That's a pretty serious life transition, though. I mean, you're picking up and moving away
to a place I know fucking nobody.
Was there even a music scene there ready for a CMOC?
No. Well, I take that back. There are a lot of Juggalo and underground acts that go up to Spokane and play at this place called The Pen or The Knitting Factory. In fact, some of Tech Nine's best shows I've found on YouTube are at The Knitting Factory. Ritz has done a lot there. But the atmosphere of the place I just moved up to was basically Ryan Upchurch. Fix your goddamn motor, you asshole. Anyway.
Somebody out there brake torquing in the middle of my fucking interview.
Oh, dude.
Damn you!
Damn it, boy. But no, the scene up there it's fucking redneck nation. Like, you'd think for being up north and all that country music would be, No,
country music's down here, bro. Let's just...
Right. I got told when I got dumped by my wife that I would never be country. And I'm like, bitch, I'm from the South. You're from fucking Washington. What the hell is your...
Did you tell her you bleed country?
No, because at the time I despised country. At the fucking time, I could not stand country. I grew
You and me
into it
both.
because I found Jelly Roll. But so I came back down to Memphis that August, and I'd only been living in Washington like 2 months. I came down in August, like maybe a month after we got married, and it was to play this show with Dark Hills Gang and 3G and Colin, is the guy who opened with me at Twisted.
All those names you mentioned. 3G, the infamous DJ.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He raps too. Sorry, guys. He's got merch,
more of a-
CDs, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking jack of all trades.
Yeah. He's the sound guy that was always booked to do all these shows whenever you all would do the Rock House Live. I've been invited up there. You know, we all.
Yeah, it's all right up there. I'm not gonna lie. I've played it several times, and we'll get into that. But you come back down here, and I play a show at Rock House. The first ever time I've been in Rock House, and 3G had told us, "Oh, there's going to be a stage," and we thought, "Oh, New Daisy type stage." We got in there; it's just a fucking wall with a hole in it, and there's this like carpet on this side of where the tables are, and we're like, "Oh, that's what he meant by stage." We're literally just going to be on the same level as everybody. Okay, fine, whatever. And Colin got mad because he had set up this elaborate entrance. He was not doing rap. This was a rap show, but he was doing his black metal, death metal, whatever it is, called Mordor.
I remember that. Yeah.
He gets there and he's like, "Well, where the fuck are the lights?" All we had besides the house lights were these two little stage lights that go up and down. And then I think Dustin finally brought some, but Colin goes first. And, it was whatever. Some people got into it. Some people were like, "What the fuck is this?" And I love Colin like a brother. I still do. We actually just got back in contact today. Like,
oh wow, cool.
Got some shit for the first time in a year, but there's some decisions made on all ends that are just, we look back and we go, "What the hell were we thinking, man?" Like, for real, who plays a black metal, death metal at Skinny Pimp was the guy who was supposed to come perform.
I've actually got to meet him before. He's a really nice guy in real life.
I've never seen him other than his music videos. I don't even remember him showing up. 3G said he did after everybody left. I was like, well, that's fucking typical, but
I think whatever. I remember that night. Yeah. I think I was there. He was supposed to show up, never did. Who knows? I don't know.
So I play a CMOC, and this is only the second CMOC show. And some shit breaks out between me and my wife, and finally it's just over. Well, I go back up there, live in a hotel for like 3-4 months in the fucking 3 feet of snow. Damn. Memphis boy, we don't get snow like this. I would walk outside and go, "Holy motherfucking shit." I didn't get it. And when that didn't work out, finally that January of 2018, I came back to Memphis, and I was like, all right, I'm done associating with CMOC. I don't want to do the whole horrorcore deal, and here's why. When you put yourself in the horrorcore scene, you put yourself in a very fucking tiny box. Like, nobody in Memphis or anywhere that I could think of that isn't just mass hysteria, juggalo, underground fiend.
It seems like it's a Midwest / East Coast thing.
It's a Detroit thing. It started in Detroit with ICP.
But we do have it down south. There's a lot of juggalos down south.
I was surprised at how many people showed up to shows like Boondocks or shows like Twisted or even ICP when they came 2 or 3 times.
Did you go to the Killjoy Club on Mother's Day a couple years ago?
No, I'll get into that in just a
second. I saw Boondocks come out of the gas station carrying beer back to the tour bus. I was like, that's little old ass Boondocks.
Fucking Boondocks, man. And I get compared to Boondocks a lot because, I'm Southern and I rap, and it's like, okay, that's not the worst thing I've heard. But I came back in that January 2018, and I was like, all right, I got to find a new name. And I couldn't think of one. I was like, I don't know what the fuck. So I just was like, all right, I always like the name Joey. And
yes. Here we go. I know what you're about to say.
This is the meat of where all of my bullshit started with the underground. I was like, I always liked the name Joey, and fuck it, I'm always looking towards the future now, so I'll just call myself Joey Future. And it was like,
bam, Joey Future. We entered Joey Future.
We entered Joey Future, and Colin had changed his name to Johnny Maximus.
I remember that. Yeah.
we were kind of working on and off together because we had some ideas, and he was helping me out getting readjusted to being back down here because I went from Memphis, fucking whoop that trick, crunky city, to literally 1,000 people in a little small town, barely.
I remember you were good at bringing people together. You had a multitude of crews and groups and people
I am the
coming together for that shit.
I hate to sound cocky about this, but I've always been the epicenter of all the bullshit in the underground. And it's like, well, shit, I didn't want to be. It's just I never fucking excluded anybody. I was like, oh, okay, it's a new opportunity for me. Other people goes, oh, that motherfucker's shady. Oh, that mother, it's whatever. But we enter Joey Future, and I come back, and I just hit the ground running with it. Automatically, I get re-put back on Bloody River, and that was one deal.
Yeah.
When I came back in August, we did that show, and we all agreed to put me on it. They agreed to put you on it, and I think there was one other guy, somebody's little brother. But everybody got off or disappeared. Like the guy's little brother, I think, left because he was just like, I don't feel like I'm being used or whatever. I left because I had to go take care of my shit in Washington, and that left you. And then everybody went silent because of personal issues, and I understood that. So when I came back, they said, all right, we'll put you back on, and we'll promote you and all that. And I was like, cool. I thought that meant right then. And so I was getting on Facebook and booking and like promoting shit that wasn't even done yet. I promoted a mixtape that I had just literally thought up. I made the artwork as a little demo scratch. I was like, the new album from Bloody River. And then it was just like, no, just shut the fuck up. So I played.
Was there not a lot of stress? Now, I want to say back to the part where I said you were wanting to bring everyone together and you wanted to create these super groups and collectives. Did you not finally learn your lesson that there's a lot of pressure behind that it's not as easy as said than done?
Well, I learned it's not easier said than done. The pressure deal is I learned more so everybody has their own agenda for what they want to do in said group.
Yeah.
That was
You're right on that. I'll tell you that.
I was like, all right, we can make this massive fucking 10-man group and have 3 verses. Like we could be the next Wu-Tang, and not everybody has to be on a song. And it was like, well, shit, that ain't gonna work. But
yeah,
I played, I want to say 8 shows as soon as I came back, just month after month after month. And somewhere around April, I made a comment or something. I started booting up this thing called IGH, and we'll discuss that a little later because I'm still using it, where I wanted something to fall back on just in case all the bullshit that I saw going on in general, everything fell apart. With Bloody River, everybody having personal lives and personal issues. I didn't want to seem like a burden to everybody, so I wanted to, be like, oh, I'm gonna be all right. I got my own shit just in case. I made a comment when I got voted off or kicked off or whatever. I'm not even sure how the fuck that happened. It was just all of a sudden, oh, by the way,
it was unanimous. It was unanimous decision.
Yeah, because I was running my goddamn mouth like I'm doing tonight. But the only difference is now.
But you had some beef with some members.
I wouldn't call it beef. I would call it creative
differences.
Disagree. Yeah, creative differences. Like I thought my shit was ready whenever I sent it in. All you had to do was
you're right.
The powers that be were like, no, dude, you need to fucking work on your timing, work on your flow. It sounds kind of shitty. And I went back and listened. I was like, you know what? He was right.
You were too big for your britches at the time.
Dude,
you had a great heart. You meant well, but you didn't take the advice given to you from Moses. You know what I mean?
I felt like the prodigal son when I came back, because I came back from fucking Washington, middle of nowhere. I'm like, I'm back, motherfuckers. And they're like, who the fuck are you? Like, that's what it was, that kind of deal. Like, I have this chance to be this meteoric sensation in Memphis that left and came back. And it's like, motherfucker, no one cares. Like, for real.
Well, I feel like you're more settled. Like, this is maybe it took time to get to where we're at now because you seem more confident. You have confidence and you're very sure of what you want to do. I mean, hell, look at the products you're putting out. You're back still doing shows with the guys. I mean, that's really good, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
and this is and that's the big question. I know a lot of people that know about what happened are like, well, how did he go from that to now they got a song together and all that? So 2018 happens, and there was some shit that went on. Like the first big point I want to make with Colin was we wanted to book his, I think, 21st birthday show at Rock House. And I don't remember all the details. I just remember I was supposed to help him find some people because he didn't want to have to go through 3G or Dark Hills Gang or the usual people to do it. And that's understandable, although...
So what, he wanted his own sound tech and all that stuff?
Yeah, he wanted his own... Like, he wanted G to do the sound, but he wanted to have his own people on the show. And at the same time, he wanted to have, like, 3 different sets. And I was like, Colin, that's not going to work. 1, because it's 3 different styles. 2, because... nobody knows us that well.
True.
So he gets a hold of Dark Hills Gang and their manager at the time, at least this is my understanding, that he gets a hold of all 3 of them and they help him book this show. And Dustin of Dark Hills Gang helps him get Hollow Point, which is a metal band. I don't know much about them, but he helps get them on the show because they were already doing a tour and they wanted to do a double booking. Colin didn't know what double booking meant. Nobody did from where we were. It was Dustin and the manager that knew what they were doing. Well, all of a sudden, it became Dark Hills Gang and Hollow Point, and nobody else was fucking mentioned. And Colin goes, "What the fuck?" You know. So I had to look at it from a logic standpoint of, well, yeah, it was kind of our idea to have that date. And it was kind of our idea to have this kind of show where it's metal and rap. But
are you sure he just wasn't misinformed of being added to the slot? And instead of this being an entire thing about what his idea was imagined?
Yeah, he took it as this was his creation. He was going to be the main event with Hollow Point on the card. And so we got informed, more or less, just because we saw the flyer, that neither one of us and none of the rap acts were going to be there. And so he took more issue with it than I did because he felt like he just got fucked out of his own birthday show. So he's talking mad shit about everybody involved. And word gets out to Dark Hills Gang, and David basically pulls us both on the phone and just fucks the living shit out of our ears with, God damn it, we've worked too hard.
He's one hell of a guy.
And I told David afterwards, I said, I didn't even fucking know I was booked. I was just trying to help him set up an event like that. I was under the understanding that if I helped him set up, I would get a surprise slot type deal.
Okay.
Like it was not going to be booked on the show as Joey Future will be performing. It would just be Johnny Maximus and then his other metal band name, because he wanted to make it look like he had a lot of people. And I got that. But I tried to talk reason with Colin. I said, Colin, you got to realize something. If some random motherfucker is looking at this flyer, or even a booker standpoint, and you have, a 21-year-old's birthday party, and he doesn't really know much about the music business, might have a couple good names, or Dark Hills Gang, who has some traction in Memphis, Hollow Point, and it's the opportunity to be a metal show at a primarily metal venue, Rock House Live. Which one are you going to go with? And he'd go, oh, I'd go with me. I'm like, then you're fucking stupid. Like, not dissing you or nothing, but any day of the week, if you choose Twisted over...
How dare he to dream, huh?
Right. It's like, okay, you can go with Twisted, or you can go with fucking, I don't know, some motherfucker on Underground Hustling that's made his... It's like Twisted, C-Mike. Which one are you going to fucking choose? Like, come on. So that breaks out, and then over the summer, there's drama because I said some shit about, or not even about somebody, to somebody, and I didn't realize that person was going through a hard time. I won't say names or what the deal was, learn my lesson there, but he had something very fucked up happen in his life the same day I did, and I kind of had already been going to him with my issues, and it was just like, okay, I see where I'm the asshole in this equation. So for the summer, I was kind of silent musically, but I was talking gangs of shit. Makes sense, right?
Were you just lashing out of anger, or?
Yeah, it was like I just fucking got fucked out of everything I was hoping to be a part of, and motherfuckers are making moves without. I was bitter. I'm not even gonna lie. I was straight up bitter. Like when you see Dark Hills and that's the other thing about the show. Cobra couldn't make it for some reason, so it ended up being David and Nick with Hollow Point, and that was cool. They had a good time, whatever. I didn't go to the show. I had other priorities. But I saw all these moves being made on that end, upcoming songs. They released Split Personalities, and it's like, damn, I'm not even in the conversation anymore. So I was bitter as hell.
Is that the album? I think I was featured on one of those tracks with them.
Yes.
Shadow and
the Cypher.
Okay, yeah.
Cypher,
I've got that album somewhere buried, but man, it was a good album.
This is where the bitter came in, because for the Cypher, I provided the beat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't straight up make that beat or anything, but I purchased the unlimited. This is the first beat
You're the one that came forth with it and said, "Hey guys,
I'm the one that bought it outright so that no one else could use it, and I'm the one. I had a verse on it and all that, but because CMOC was done, they took that verse off. I found that verse the other day and I was like, damn, that actually wasn't a bad CMOC verse. It was one not necessarily about killing people, but." So
we need to pull that song up. I'm gonna look around for a second. Go ahead, keep talking.
I'm thinking. This is June area. So, while all this is going on, I'm busy working as a plumber's apprentice. So I'm already dead tired. Like I'm literally in shit every day fixing people's toilets and everything.
Are you still doing that now?
No. And that'll come up here. We're almost there.
He's retired from that game, guys.
Well, so that's September and August. I posted a photo of 2 masks I'd made that were in the style of Dark Hills Gang, but were not supposed to be ripped off from Dark Hills Gang. And It just, I don't remember if you were around for that, but it just all of a sudden all hell broke loose because Nick called me a thief, and I was like, what did I steal? I made 2 masks. But we took it and we turned it into a full blown, just, I don't want to say beef, because it wasn't like we were going around killing each other or anything like that. It was just I was the toilet. I became the laughing stock of the underground because of this. And I was not in a position to record, but I was in a position to get on Facebook Live and talk a lot of shit. So I did. And that's just where I've kept burying my hole deeper and deeper and deeper until finally Dark Hills Gang comes out with a diss track, and Nick comes out with a diss track, and I'm just like, all right.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Hold on. This is playing. Okay. So, all right. Now we're getting to the part where you and Nick had gotten into it, right?
Right. This is where it all really started.
Now, what was this over again? I mean, because this was a while back.
This was over when I first came back thinking I was hot shit. And then I made a comment when I got kicked off of Bloody River talking about I have to treat this situation like dirt on my shoulder, brush it off, and keep moving. They thought they were the dirt. I was talking about the situation.
Oh.
It was like all of them hit me up and were like, how the fuck are you going to call me dirt on your shoulder? And I'm like, that's not what I was trying to say, but there's nothing I can say that'll change your mind, so fuck it. So this had already been building up with Nick and everybody and me to where if we were on a show together, there was instant tension, at least on my end, where it was like, all right, I don't know.
We just couldn't put you guys in the same room on the same show?
No. We weren't that bad. It wasn't that bad because, we'd had 2 or 3 shows where they were booked. It was Nick and his partner at the time, and me and Johnny were all on the same show, and I just mainly stuck to myself and, smoked weed or whatever. But when I posted the photos of the masks, and that is what just said, all right, fuck it. And Dustin even was in on the kind of deal where he put up a post talking about greatness can be imitated but never replicated or something like that, and silence is gold, and all how Cobra is. He does not fucking just come out and say, you fucking thief.
Well,
so over the next 2 months, I'm not recording any music. I'm promoting 3 different mixtapes that I'm supposedly working on, just to make myself look relevant. And Dark Hills comes out with Headshot, and basically they're like, you're not in
that was directed towards you.
Oh hell yeah, everybody but Six's verse. Go listen to David's verse, and he's talking about no matter what he says, he's not the future.
Well, I saw there was a song released called Headshot featuring Broke Boy 6, and I didn't know it was about you though. I thought it was just about the typical.
It was straight up.
We're talking like way in the future to where I wasn't even really around like that anymore.
This is at the point I think when I think when I put a video up, you commented on it. I said something like "fuck Project 33" and all that, trying to be a big tough guy on my front porch smoking my little Newport. And you get in my comments like, Sam, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, well, they wanted a war, we'll give them a war. And I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
I want to say vaguely I remember that.
I'm also going to say, full disclosure,
I knew there was a rough patch, but I didn't know you guys were throwing disses back and forth.
Well, even before that,
I think some things might have been said.
Well, even before
but
that,
but not like full on fucking.
Right. Well, even before that, they put some of my songs on that show they did, Cruising, and then afterwards it was just, they were even
fucking shit, you reminded me. Yes. Oh my God, yes. They did the damn podcast, Cruising with Nick and Nux. That show was fucking tight as hell.
Yeah.
Man.
So they even came on at the beginning, it was like, yeah.
Dude, they fucking roasted you on that. That was good. You should be proud that you were the center of that shit.
Yeah, that was fucking me.
That was awesome. What's up, KJ Riddle? Whoop whoop.
Yeah, I better check the fucking YouTube, see what's going on here.
Damn. This is like all flooding back like memories, man. We're talking years ago. Yeah, we laughed. We all was just like, ha ha ha. But you've always been a good guy at heart, in spirit, you know.
Right. So
wow.
After all this, Nick, it's been constant pressure from Nick and Nux. And David has been off and on, and Dustin, we quote Dustin now, and Dustin's big quote is, "It's whatever." Like that's just how it is. But that September they put out Headshot, and then Nick came directly after it, like 1 or 2 weeks later with Senza Futuro or something like that, like some Mexican title diss track. And honestly, Nick killed me with that diss track. It was like, yep, I can no longer be Joey Future. I fucking am dead. So I went into this exile deal, but first I had to make sure I took care of my business. And I showed up to Halloween that year. And, Nick and I basically came to agreement, don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you. And then from there, everything kind of went quiet.
Yes. I found it. Sorry. Okay. All right. We're going to play that before we leave, guys. Anyway,
wait. What's
I found the Bloody River cipher we're all on. The beat you're talking about or whatever. Yeah, we're gonna play that on our way out tonight at the end of the show.
Yeah, everybody but me is on that song because I was in.
So you wasn't on it?
I have the verse, but no, I'm not on that one, man. Sometime I'll put it all together where my verse is included.
That is crazy.
The only contribution I had on that track is the beat, but
damn.
So in 2018, and David's gone back in. And this is the running joke with David and Dark Hills Gang is after every Halloween they fucking retire again, And Nick is trying to.
They go back to the coffins and
right. It's like all right, back to
like vampires. They wait at night to feast again.
So David and Dustin went back to being quiet about everything, and Nick was trying to get his own thing going with I think Tom Ski Mask.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And he had a couple shows, but I was letting him have his space or whatever.
Yeah.
While all this is going on, my personal life has gone to shit. So, and that, that's the other thing.
What do you mean? Just socially, like?
I mean everything.
With Facebook, music, or
all right. When
relationships?
This all started, when I moved back, the day that I hit up dude and got in trouble because he had some shit happen in his life, I literally just became homeless. And I was not thinking about his problems at all. That got solved because my dad was like, well, come live with me. And then I found out that same day he got evicted from the place we had been living at. So we had to fucking go find a new place instead of me.
God. Yeah. It's terrible.
All while I'm a plumber's apprentice, making $10 an hour, not knowing what the fuck I'm going to do because I'm not even 19 yet. So we find a place over there off Highland, and I'm kind of laying low. And in September, around the time all this shit with Nick starts back up, Dad finds out he's anemic. So, and Dad and I had a very off and on relationship of I fucking hate you, I fucking love you. He was unbearable sometimes, but other times he was the fucking coolest guy you could know. Well, he's flashed forward to like the end of January. And I don't know if you were around for this, I had bleached blonde dyed my hair at this point. Like I had I looked like a fucking crackhead. There's no other way to describe it because I was doing the twisted. I was doing the spider.
You used to do the juggalo hairstyle. You do the face paint, like you said. You do the hair braids.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't nothing uncommon or anything that you would not see in the music, you know.
So I did that with this bleach blonde hair that looked like fucking baby chicken fur. I was showing up stoned to family get-togethers, and eventually somebody ratted me out, and then all hell broke loose there. I was excommunicated, and so I'm living with Dad over off Highland, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get away from all this rap bullshit. And this is where I find Jelly Roll and Upchurch and Adam Calhoun, and I'm like, I can fucking get into this scene. And I never did release any of the shit that I made back then. Like, I was making country rap beats and recording my own guitars, because I knew how to do it. And it just never came out. And then that February, Dad had to go to the hospital. Now, this is where you need to understand what's going on. The end of January, I get kicked out of Dad's house because I'm such an insufferable prick, and so is he. I go and live in a hotel. And I just decide, fuck it, this is my fresh start. And I cut off my blonde hair. This was the fucking official, all right, all seriousness all throughout life.
You hit a turning point for real.
Yeah, no more rapping about fake shit. And, because Joey Future was a one-off attempt at trying to be a gangster rapper. I don't know how the fuck it came to that. I just fucking listened to Triple Threat and Most Tasteless by Twisted and was like, yeah, I'm going to make that sound. Do I look like a fucking gangster to you? Like, it was that kind of, it became more comedy rap to be believed as comedy rap than it was all seriousness. So I'm in this hotel. I cut off the blonde hair and I'm like, all right, I'll talk about the actual problems I'm having. Like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going to live after I run out of money for this hotel. And I get, I come back to live with Dad. We get shit melted up there. And then then he has to go to the fucking hospital because he's been having labored breathing because of the anemia, and his fucking esophagus had swelled up to the size of a pinhole.
Oh, wow.
And he was not eating right. So he got I don't know if anybody remembers now that COVID's the big topic, but there was this big fucking crud that came over Memphis and everybody got it. It was like the flu mixed with congestion and a cold. And then after you got over the main symptoms, you still had fucking congestion. I went through something like that
the fall prior to when COVID hit. For 3 months, I had chest congestion. It was just something. I couldn't break it up. I could have swore it was COVID because months later they were announcing COVID.
Right. And I had a similar instance, but here we are in 2019. And Dad has to go. He has a doctor's appointment, and he's labored breathing, can't fucking get out of bed. And I said, Dad, go to the fucking ER, dude. Like, swallow your pride, go to the ER. Well, he goes to his doctor's and fucking passes out from labored breathing. So they have to charge $700 for this ambulance to take him from building here to literally around the corner hospital. Yeah. And it's like, well, fuck. So
we went through all that shit some weeks ago. It's
right.
And when somebody's sick, they don't want to go to the hospital because sometimes when they go into the hospital that last time, they don't come out.
Well, this is where my issues with my family kick in. First, Dad blamed me for him being in the hospital because I had locked my keys in the house or something and I left a window open. And our fucking heater wasn't working in the middle of winter. Sorry and shit. Well, my grandmother found out and they were talking about it, thinking I was like outside or in another room and wasn't going to hear what the fuck was going on. But I caught the tail end and it was, don't tell Sam. Well, here comes my uncle and he says, they don't want me to tell you, but I'm going to tell you because it's my fucking responsibility and you need to know. Your dad has cancer. And I was like, shit. I said, what kind? He said, terminal in 3 different parts of his body. And I went, oh, wow. So, yeah, he's about to be fucking gone. So I melded up any fucking tension with Dad once he finally came home and focused mainly on trying to advance my life so that everything would be fine when he did die. But
so he ended up passing away eventually?
Oh, he was only home like for 2 weeks from the hospital. Wow. And that shit.
Sorry to hear that, man. Like I said, mine passed away 2 weeks ago to this day, and we didn't expect him to just go in the hospital and not come home. It was just one of them things to where you know, if I could have it my way, my dad would live forever, you know.
Oh, dude,
But he was in such bad shape. He had a heart attack and was walking around, didn't tell nobody. And that's why he had shortness of breath. He had complete blockage on one side.
Well, to be fair, my dad did drink like 6 Diet Cokes a day. Not cans, bottles of a day. But, you know, he had no bone cartilage. He was diabetic, weighed 400 pounds. And then the last month of his life, he was down to like 200. So he passed. And I remember that morning I was asleep. I was sleeping on the couch. I don't sleep well in beds, just from trauma or whatever the fuck. And I hear banging on the wall at like 5 a.m. I run in there and he needs his breathing treatment. I got it all set up. I got it in his mouth and he took a breath. So I thought he was fucking just like relaxing. As soon as he took the treatment, he fell over dead. Like I was like,
oh wow, you were there at his last breath.
Yes, I was holding his hand and making sure he didn't fall off of the bed when he died. So, you know, I've been that close to death, and it was just a total clusterfuck of a situation. Well, here was the issue. Dad and I were splitting rent, and I wasn't going to be able to afford it on my own. So all of a sudden, hold on real quick. As we talk about cancer.
The irony.
All of a sudden, it was, okay, what the fuck are you going to do now? While all this is going on, we're going to go back into the music situation. I'm working on country rap and wanting to be something different. And Colin and I had decided we wanted to put together this benefit show for a friend he lost back in that November. Well, Colin wasn't real sure about what the hell he was doing booking again. And it was a nightmare getting the show booked until the actual day of the show. And we got the show done, and it became a tribute to that friend and my dad. And I got to be the co-headliner. There were technically 3 of us. It was 3G. It was me, as at the time I was just going by Sewer Rat Sam because I knew I was about to be homeless. I was already spending a lot of time in gutters. I was like, fuck it, I love underground shit.
You were fixing to wear that shit.
Yeah, and I still do. People go, oh, Rat's a snitch. I go, no, that's, you know, snitch 9 or whatever the fuck. I'm just a creature of the underground, and I happen to be.
The sewer is underground, technically, if you think about it. I mean, well.
So we do this show. I play my guitar at Rock House, and people start leaving after my set, and I kind of felt bad for Colin and all, but, you know, it is what it is. He wanted to do his black metal shit. And now the question was, where the fuck do we go? And you have to understand, Colin and I have been spending a lot of time at that point together, just recording and goofing off, drinking and smoking weed just to fucking numb our problems, dude. We were, I could give a shit less that, I mean, I cared that my dad died, but I was on 420. I woke up at 8 o'clock, smoked 3 blunts, and that was the cycle all the way for the next 14 hours. Like, it was not.
Reality had done put you to the ringer so much, you just didn't care.
It was blunt.
Medicating.
Actually, I'm not a blunt guy. I'm a joint guy. It was joint, bong, pipe, joint, pipe, bong, all damn day, all the way to the show. So I was fucked up at the show. We do the show. The show's great. I'm not going to go into all the drama that came with the show, but a lot of the people that were on the show had been getting a lot of traction and did it out of support for Colin or whatever. You know, this is where I'm going to start saying some names. There was Broke Boy 6 and his crew, which was Sus Boy, and at the time it was Sad Boy Slump or Sinister Slump. I think now it just goes by Jay Sinister. I don't fucking know. I don't keep up with that crew that much. Not necessarily my scene. There was Cody Crazy, there was Mauser, and there was Nova, which was this group called Ain't Nothing Sweet. And they actually got a pretty good reaction. Everybody else was like, what the fuck is this broke boy shit calling women bitches and hoes? And you know, it was like, what the fuck is this? And then there was
I've seen him perform. He's one hell of a performer. Let's just say that. Yeah, you would have to see his experience to understand.
I was about to say, it is an experience. Like,
he's really, really good. I liked him.
Oh, I forgot. Weapons Against Sobriety was also on this show. and I don't think they're still together anymore. But this is a group from Bama that was like really fun. I liked them. You know, they were weed enthusiasts. You know, do weed not heroin? You know, all that kind. They were
Kind of like Cottonmouth Kings ish.
No,
type of shit?
no, not Cottonmouth Kings is more political. Like they were war against drugs, and weed is not a drug type shit. And that was DJ Permeate, who did a lot of the DJing at the shows, and Johnny Wild, and a dude named Certified. I don't know where Johnny, I don't even know where Permeate is. I don't know where any of them are anymore other than Bama. But that show went over. There was some bullshit that happened. One of Broke Boy's fans or somebody fucking was so hyped after Broke Boy's performance that he got up and he came and basically flipped over the table with the DJ stuff on it.
Shit.
And a fight broke out on stage, and finally it was like, if you're not a fucking performer and you're not performing, stay the fuck off the stage. Like it was that bad. Like, motherfucker left out of there bleeding because somebody punched him that hard. It was a good show though. Afterwards, back to my personal life, I moved into a trailer in Coldwater, Mississippi with my girlfriend at the time, the fiance of the friend that died, who was about to have twin babies. On top of this, her grandfather, grandmother, mother, brother, and 2 sisters were also living in this trailer. A single wide, not a double wide, a single wide. And we had 9 dogs, a pigs, 3 cats, just
a couple animals.
It looked like I
like a farm.
Yeah, I love these people, but it looked like the typical trailer park, although there was no other trailers around. It was a suburb. So I've stayed there for 3 weeks. I had a job for like 3 days in South Haven detailing cars, and found out that the company was so bankrupt they couldn't afford to pay me. So they were like, well, fuck it, we got to fire you on Mother's Day, by the way. And that's when Killjoy Club, or the remaining members, rest in peace, Koopsta and Lord Infamous, and Young Wicked wasn't with them anymore. So it was just DJ Paul and ICP came, and all of a sudden, from the fucking shadows, Dark Hills Gang was back. Damn. I was like, what the fuck? Not in a bad way. I fucking was happy they were back, and that was something throughout the whole feud with them. I never stopped supporting them. I was the type of guy.
Yeah. You even got the tattoo of them.
Yeah, still do.
Yeah, still do. I had it lasered off after all the beef back then.
Right, that was a suggestion somebody gave me was, well, you're beefing with these guys, get it lasered off. I was like, no, dude, because I like their music.
Yeah, super fan.
I was walking into corner stores with a Bluetooth speaker bumping, all these different Dark Hills Gangs tracks. Couldn't wear the fucking mask into the store, but
some hard motherfuckers, I'll tell y'all that. We're gonna play some of that Dark Hills Gang shit tonight.
Hell yeah. And so this is where rubber hits the road, and here we go. I get kicked out of the trailer, and I am now officially homeless. Nowhere to go. And I hit up a producer guy that I knew. Like, I'd been in his studio 2 or 3 times, and I was like, hey, you said that if I ever needed help, hit you up. I need some fucking help. And he's like, I can let you stay for 3 days in this little side studio. So while all this is going on, no GED, 1 job experience working for family members, no fucking driver's license. I'm up shit's creek.
Yeah, you had everything pitted against you, really.
Right. And so I ended up going to this place called Job Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never been to Job Corps or you don't know what Job Corps is, you are fucking lucky, because Job Corps presents itself as a technical school. What it is a mental institution mixed with a prison with schooling.
Oh, God, really?
Oh, dude, you couldn't smoke there. You couldn't fucking cuss there. You had to be on your P's and Q's, wear a fucking uniform. And they got mad and they put cameras everywhere. They started putting these fucking security cameras, and people got legit mad when I said, all right, so when do we get our fucking jumpsuits and rubber shoes, man? Like, I was walking around with my lanyard wrapped around my fucking head like a goddamn convict like this the whole time. Like, I was that fucking gone, and I was like, what the fuck are you going, what's the worst you're going to do to me? Kick me out, and I'll be right back where I was,
Let's hear a happy ending. Did you graduate? Did you pass?
From Job Corps? No.
Yeah.
Job Corps, I got kicked out, and this is where the country side of me was kicking in. I call everybody Bubba. It's how it is. People say the N-word, homie, mang, whatever. Memphis is mang. I call people Bubba, and I call people mang. Bubba, apparently they took as a racial slur. So I had been labeled this racist bigot. And I was okay. Here's the other thing y'all need to know. Population percentage of Job Corps, 98% African American.
All black, yeah.
1% Mexican and Asian, 0.8 Caucasian. So it's like
you were the minority at that point.
Right.
So it didn't look good, basically, all that Bubba shit. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, was there any conflicts did you get along with everyone?
I got along with a lot of people. I met a lot of people there weren't even from Memphis or anything. They were from like Florida or Georgia or Carolina. And a lot of them actually...
I mean, they're like you. They're there trying to get an education to get a better job, to get the fuck out,
Along with the GED, it's like I said, it is a technical school. You could get certificates, and mine was going to be carpentry. And I met a lot of people that I hope to future work with when it comes to music and shit. Like my homie Big T, Tyreek. We have this little subgroup we have never fucking done anything with called Artisans of a Different Breed, because we'd start freestyle. He'd start a line and I'd pick it up, and then he'd go off of that line. And we got kicked out of a poetry group doing this shit because it was not formatted to Job Corps standards. So we were like, fuck poetry. We'll fucking do it out in the fucking back of the school. Also, we lived there. It was not a fucking, you go there once every morning. It was a fucking campus. Well, here's where the big situation is, and this is where I got kicked out. One afternoon after I've already been on my final strike because they've caught me smoking and all this, not weed either, just cigarettes. They've caught me smoking and they've caught me talking a whole lot of shit to the teachers and being me. A teacher is bullying not only a student but a friend of mine, and I don't stand for that shit. I could care less about race and all that shit. The fact that this teacher was belittling this person and making them feel to be less than. I went and got a teacher that I trusted to fucking handle it. And when I did, after that had been handled and the door was shut and that teacher was gone, the main teacher that was bullying people started acting like she was from the fucking inner city, man. It was, I'm not the one you want to get an attitude with. And I
ain't the one.
I worked in the
I know what kind of spicy attitude you're talking up to. Yeah.
He goes, I worked in the inner city and I didn't care about if they wanted me to write people up. I just straight up.
I'm not here to babysit y'all.
So my bold ass stood up and said, and you obviously don't give a shit about us either. The whole class went fucking dead.
Why did you say that?
I was on my last strike and I didn't give a You have to understand.
Man, you're there to learn and get a job. You're not there to fucking
they weren't
lead a revolution.
They were not teaching shit. If they had been doing their job, no fucking problem. But it was a racist institution, just reverse from what everybody believes racism to be. So I stood up and I said my piece, and then the teacher approaches me like she wants to fucking fight. I don't mean like just starts walking towards me. I mean walking, hobbling, because she had a fucking pimp limp, hobbling towards me with her goddamn hands up like she wants to throw hands. So I take my headphones off that are around my neck. I used to always walk around with the goddamn headphones on. And she took that as a threat just because I didn't want her to break my shit. And that's where all hell broke loose. I didn't throw hands. Motherfuckers came and held me back. They
could have called the cops on your ass for that shit. You ain't supposed to be acting all threatening like that.
Shit, standing up and speaking my mind? Fuck them. But
it's not like this is a freaking democracy where you all should,
Right. It's like,
I mean, look, Germ in the chat says, truth should always be voiced regardless of the circumstances. Sometimes you got to pick and choose your battles. This is what people don't realize.
It's whatever.
You're there on a mission. You're not there to give a damn about the next person. It's not like this was the military. I mean, I'm sure you could still,
but set some fucking standards, man.
You're not going to make a change by standing up to that teacher is what I'm getting at. No, I would have stayed out of it, kept my mouth shut. And you said you were already on your third strike. That probably made you look like the bad apple of the group. Did any of that kind of sink in over time?
No,
I mean,
no. Not because I'm an ignorant motherfucker, but because this had been going on and on. This was not one particular teacher. Like I said, this was a prison mixed with a mental institution. Because we would have to go, my particular case, I'd have to go get shots and do drugs to fucking keep my mouth, my ADHD or whatever they called it, fucking settled.
Okay, so you have a condition that you're currently medicated for.
I don't take medication anymore.
But it's on file legally. You're what, bipolar or ADD or something?
If I listed every single one, people go, "Oh my God, he's a fucking bitch." No,
so to them, you look like an emotional problem anyway, or a problem, or a troublemaker, or a delinquent, or whatever.
Right, because I don't fucking keep my mouth shut. But
I've always felt like Job Corps was like the fill-in GED style type of school that
it's supposed to be.
So you're saying things have changed that drastically to where
No. I'm saying
it's this milling machine that you all are subjected to now?
They put up a fucking front, and they are under investigation right now for fucking even some of the fucking people that work there coming out and like, yeah, this place is a piece of shit. So it wasn't just me saying this shit.
So you're thinking a lot of it's for show. Educations are not paid for, but paid off.
Right.
They're getting you all out the door, bringing the next herd in. The counselors are probably not making that much money, so it's like a cash cow from the government.
And in my case, holding people back so that they could keep their fucking numbers up.
Huh.
Which is another reason I had fucking beef with them. But
at what point did you want to feel like this vigilante and stand up for your fellow inmates? You know?
When they were letting the inmates run the asylum. The wrong inmates, you know, when they were letting the motherfuckers that were all
so you wasn't joking when you said, hey, this is like a prison-esque style college
motherfuckers were coming here to avoid fucking going to prison.
Oh, so it was one of them kind of schools.
And they were letting these motherfuckers get away, not literally with murder, but with murder. Like cussing out the teacher, fighting in the hall, you know, smoking weed out back, whatever. I didn't give a shit about the weed.
Jeremy, what do you think about all this shit?
Yeah, let's see what the chat has to say about
Let's see what the chat has to say. Jeremy knows a lot about everything. I trust his decisions, but sometimes I have to dispute things he will say.
Hey, like you said in this, Jeremy said, truth should always be voiced regardless of circumstances. And that's my whole fucking deal.
I think he was referring to me when he said, bullshit. Those are words born of cowardice. Talking about me picking and choosing my battles. I did not know this place was like that.
And you never would, even if you went to the fucking open house they have. You know why? They put up this front like it's all this big fucking deal, good shit. And you might see one or two motherfuckers running around acting stupid, but they don't show. They say, oh, these classes have had this many people succeed and go on to work at, say, you know, the fucking dregs down there, the Mississippi River or whatever the fuck.
So they can just bullshit numbers or academic scores.
They bullshit to get people to come in so that their numbers stay up so they stay in business. Because
so they look good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this place was a fucking dump, a prison, like you say.
In Whitehaven, Mississippi, right on the fucking border.
I know where it's at. I deliver out there all the time. Yeah, it's right there off of Mill Branch.
Yeah. Exactly.
My cousin Amanda had to go to it when she was young, but I don't know whatever became of that education in her.
So I get kicked out.
Yeah, see, Germ says he knows. He said that place was a hellhole.
Amen, brother. But
okay, fine. My bad.
I get kicked
You're right.
out. I threatened a teacher with violence. And this isn't even where my bullshit with Job Corps ends. Keep that in mind.
Oh, God.
They send me home to put me on a fact-finding board that I'm like basically a parole hearing that I'm not allowed to be there for. I'm not allowed to fucking verbally defend myself. I have to write all my shit out on a piece of paper, and I basically wrote, "You guys have already made up your fucking minds. Fuck you. I'll figure it out." Like,
so what's the repercussions of getting kicked out or dropping out? What do they do? I mean, are you never allowed back? Obviously,
you're not allowed. It depends on what they kick you out for. Mine was like the class 1 felony for all that shit, like bringing a firecracker to school or whatever the fuck. So they say, oh, you can't come back there. And they don't make this shit clear. And keep this in mind, because like I said, this is not where my Job Corps story ends. They kicked me out literally October 12th last year. So it's been over a year now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so you recently went through all this, huh?
Dude, ever since the fucking divorce started, my life has been bullshit. And people go, oh, you got to stay happy and remain positive about life. And I go, fuck you. You know, like, Jesus Christ. But so I come back to Memphis and I'm allowed to stay here at my mom's house. And it's not something I'm proud of. It's just, it is what it is. And He called me up and say, "We regret to inform you you're not allowed back." And since the secretary is actually somebody I liked, I wished her well. And there were a few staff members there that were pulling for me because they knew, and they were voicing their shit, saying, you guys.
Their hands were tied.
No,
they knew you were in the bullshit, and there was nothing you could do.
Because I was me and not some robot they wanted me to be. These motherfuckers were coming forward to defend me. Students that I'd made friends with for being a genuine guy and listening to their problems were coming forth and defending me. You know what got me kicked out? All these thug motherfuckers from Chicago and Atlanta and everything said, "Oh, if it was a black student, y'all would have kicked him out immediately." And when I brought this up in the fucking first parole hearing they had me on about it, this is the bullshit they told me. Motherfucker named Boone looked me in the eye and said, "We don't do things based on race." And I busted out laughing. I said, "You're full of shit, Boone." Like, he thought I was going to buy this shit that, we don't base shit off race. I was like, "You're full of shit."
That place must be a hellhole for real. Kevin says, I had an offer to go to Job Corps, and then I told him to fuck off. They aren't to Marines.
I did try to go to the armed services.
That place sucks, huh?
Yeah, I did try to go to the armed services. I do not qualify because of my bipolar, whatever the fuck that doctors have diagnosed me with. So if it wasn't for that, I would be out in Afghanistan, not stuck here in the middle of COVID. But whatever.
Okay, let's get way the fuck away from the damn Marine Job Corps.
All right.
Bullshit.
So while all this is going on, back to the music shit, which is why I'm here. This is where, while all this is going on, before I threatened the teacher, I'm actually working out and everything in their gym. David hits me up and says he wants me to be part of Halloween 3, which surprised the holy shit out of me because, I thought, oh my God, that fucking bridge is burnt. Yeah. I have to move to another fucking island.
Felt good, huh? After all that dark, you finally got a little piece of light.
Not just that, but the show that I had to miss because I went back to fucking Washington to fix my shit was Halloween that we all were fucking planning together. So it was kind of redemption in a sense.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Poetic justice after all.
Yes, it really was. And this is where, and I was already kind of like, maybe I should just fucking stop with the music and really focus on my shit. I don't feel the same with all my shit going on like it is right now, but I do this show at Halloween, and while it's not the best fucking show ever, especially because guys, like Broke Boy, a lot of them people that were there to support Broke Boy, and as soon as he was done, fuck you, bye. That was everybody left. So when everybody else goes on, it's, half capacity of what it was. We do the show. I say, fuck it, I'm staying, and I start working on several different music projects under the new name, SAMIAM, because I'm done with this gimmicky bullshit. I'm just being me. That's all it is. So here we go. I play Halloween, and Dustin comes up to me and goes, dude, I could tell you love this shit. Don't give it up just because your wife is going through some shit right now. And I appreciate Dustin a lot because he's been the mentor figure. I wouldn't know how to do half the shit I know how to do without fucking Crazy the Cobra. So shout out Crazy the Cobra. But here we go into 2020. And I did, as soon as I got kicked out of fucking Job Corps, found this nonprofit organization called HopeWorks. They helped me get my goddamn GED. Finally got that in December.
Awesome.
So that's one fucking chunk out of the bullshit.
You got a new lease on life. You can get a fucking decent job, a career, hopefully. Wow.
So I had bought some a friend bought some studio time, and we went and I recorded literally just me, not necessarily freestyling in the sense of off the top of the dome, but I called it fucking round just because there was no fucking big deal about what I was saying. It was just me fucking rhyming shit. And it's the only thing I've released that's even in a fucking studio format where I recorded in a studio.
Yeah.
So I released that, and I'm like, all right, I'm serious about this shit. And I have to figure out, all right, how am I going to fucking make money to shut everybody? I'm still living at my fucking mom's and whatever. And like I said, I'm not proud of it. I'm not fucking bragging about it, but
I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, look at
you're sitting around and
cards dealt.
You're sitting around and now you've got your GED, and it's like, why the fuck don't you have a job yet? So to shut everybody up, I went and got. I was a dumbass when I did this. I applied for FedEx.
Okay.
And when I applied, I didn't realize there was more than one application I could fill out. So I ended up having to work Sundays, days, and weeknights at night. So it fucked up my whole sleeping schedule to the point of holy Jesus fuck. I'm working there and I start recording more and more songs. And I was working on a mixtape called Gutter Music. I just scrapped it because of, right now everything's fucking gone back to shit. But, working on Gutter Music, and I released a remix of Roddy Ricch's The Box. And y'all can find all these songs I'm talking about on the SoundCloud Cree shared earlier. But I released a remix, and people go, dude, you actually sound like you've come a long way from the fucking CMOC days. And I'm like, yeah, fucking thank you. I've gone through
I can tell.
shit.
Yeah, look, I've been thinking about you. I don't know what came over, but I was like, let me reach out. Let me see what this guy's up to. And I reached out, and you agreed to do the interview. Here we are. It's because I reached out, I was able to find out about your new tracks. I checked out the other one you did. You've really stepped it up a lot. I'm proud of you, dude. You've done well. I mean, I guess you've had to actually literally go through the shit to get to the greatness. I mean, who doesn't if you're in that type
and
of
that
path,
was the thing. That was the thing when I was working as the plumber's apprentice. I had my house where I was living with Dad, and every day my uncle didn't give a shit what I did after work.
You thought you were living back then, huh?
Dude, I was coming home, and with my uncle filling out whatever paperwork he had to fill out, I would sit on the front porch, smoke a bong rip or a joint. It was whatever. It was like, I can't fucking beat this. And then Dad died, and it was like, okay, I can't afford rent here, so what the fuck? And I had to leave the fucking plumber's apprentice job because I don't have my driver's license and wasn't about to have a place to live, which made some sense. You can't have an employee that doesn't have his shit together and he just shows up at work smelling like shit. So whatever. But we get to fucking February where I'm now working at FedEx. That's when I started at the end of February. And I make the box remake because I'm sitting there working in the fucking assembly line, tossing boxes. And I'm like, I'm just going to be a clever motherfucker with some of this shit. And things are going good. I'm, got my music back up, started releasing. I've released a song every month for a consecutive month since March.
Damn.
Which is something I've never fucking done. When it was CMOC, I was trying to put projects out every other month.
Hashtag goals. There you go.
And, I feel disappointed in myself a lot because I had to scrap this mixtape. And I'm like, motherfucker, you put like 8 songs out. Shut the fuck up and just live for a minute.
Yeah. No rush. I mean.
So with COVID, and then COVID broke out while I saw COVID starting to break out. I was at my grandmother's for Christmas last year. And they announced that there was some kind of flu going around China. I went, if that fucking gets to the U.S., we're all fucked. Mm-hmm. And God damn it, if it didn't get to the U.S. and everybody wanted toilet paper. It was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then the fucking riots broke out and all that shit happened. And it's like, good fucking God. We got murder hornets flying around and fucking
So things
Antifa.
went through a dark time. They picked back up. And now this is just another hiccup in the road.
Right.
But you're more well off now. You're more equipped for the future now, right? I mean,
somewhat.
Is it safe to say?
I still got to get my fucking driver's license and all that shit. But in July, I had been talking with David DeBrain of Dark Hills Gang, and he just released a mixtape EP called DeBrain Fragments. Y'all can go check that out on all platforms. And I hit him up.
Yeah, I'm going to go back after this video and put a link to your SoundCloud and all that shit so people can, after this show, stop by.
So David and I started talking about business, like music business, because we were seeing a lot of fucking complacency. And I said, well, what if we started like a super group? Me, I'm always wanting to start a fucking super group with these guys. And he says, actually, I wanted to talk to you about that. I want to put together a group of me, you, Nick, and Cobra, and one other guy named Spade, who was also on the last Halloween. And so we all came together, and it's called Amen Omen. Now,
yes, here we go. Enter Amen Omen. Yes.
This is the fucking shining silver lining of 2020 for me, because everything I've wanted to do is finally happening. And we see all this bullshit going on in the world, not just musically, but in general with 2020. And we're like, motherfuckers are acting like straight sheep with this election year coming up and the fucking riot and the wear the mask or you don't get service. And so we're like, we're going to make this song called Sheeple. And we released Sheeple.
I featured 1st. That on one of my episodes, some episodes back. Great
Sheeple,
song,
man. And Amen Omen is everything I had hoped it would be, almost. Like, there are some things that still need to work out, and we're currently, I guess, on hiatus because everybody's dealing with shit with the holidays, and I get it. And we released Sheeple. And I actually that day had a show in Millington. And so I performed Sheeple as I did every single verse except Spades, because I can't fucking get Spades down for some reason. But this little, rinky-dink show in a shed out in Millington with 11 people, it fucking felt like a full house because it's such a small space and there's 11 people crammed in here. We got a basic fucking stage light and one wired microphone, using a...
What was the name of this place out in Millington, if you don't mind me asking?
There is no name for this place. This was a literal shed house.
Was it like a bar, like a local watering hole? No.
This is a shed in the backyard of the guy who put this all together's like grandparents, and that's where he lives most of the time.
So it was someone's property that...
It was a house party show.
For the local area, yeah. He's like, hey, I got a place out back.
Yeah, it was like, hey, you guys were throwing a little party, and it was mostly just his friends, which was fine and whatever. A lot of cool motherfuckers. Best crowd response I've ever gotten. 11 motherfuckers beat any show I've done at Rock House. Damn. And I love Rock House. But the support in the Memphis Underground, and we'll talk about this, I guess we'll take a break and you can play some music.
Yeah,
Been going for a fucking hour, but the support in the Memphis Underground is not there. There is no fucking support. So I go out to Millington, play this show, and motherfuckers are going wild because these guys are on like CMOC level. They're just starting with, the production. They don't know what all the fuck they're doing. And they're called Pointless Rebellion. They're on SoundCloud and shit. And the only reason they have a lot of views on their shit so far is because they got the whole premium SoundCloud shit to get more views. And that's fine. They don't pay for views. They just have that premium so it gets, noticed more. But once they up their game, these motherfuckers are going to be the next wave. So I do this show, and then it's like, all right, everything slows back down. I can't leave the house for like 6 weeks because I'm about to leave Memphis and go to a family function, and one of the members of the family has lung problems, so she's fucking terrified of COVID, and it's like, well, fuck. Because I just started budding out of my antisocial bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we go through that, and then I'm releasing songs, and this is basically where we are today. So it took us an hour to get to who the fuck I am and what the fuck's going on, but I've seen fire and I've seen rain, motherfucker, but I'm still here.
I've seen hell and I've seen pain, but I'm still here.
Yep.
Wow. This is one hell of a story. I will say this much. If you don't mind, we go ahead and take a little intermission.
Absolutely.
I'm going to step away for a second.
I have that problem my dad had of talking for like hours. And
No. This is why we brought you on, because we want to get the whole fucking gist of all this. I'm going to go ahead and play that cipher, and then, guys, we're going to come back. Here we go.
Cool. Bloody river, make you cry, make you shiver, make you drown in your fear. They don't like the way I spit it, so fuck I'ma spit it anyway. I'm not the type to give a shit what any have to say. And that's me every day, not just when I'm on this mic. I don't give a fuck, it's the motto, it's the way of life. Nicodemus.
I'll quickly remove your life and leave your wifey sleeping lonely, cause mostly I'm just a goofy dude, stupid like a Looney Tune, trapping on the moon and doing shit I like to do. If that offends you, well fuck it and fuck you as well. Sit on this birdie and spin round and around like carousels, cause I ain't here to please a single motherfucker. I'm a home run hitter, you're a basic base runner, and I could bring the thunder or I could bring the rain. Flood out your residence and give you JFK brain. It doesn't matter, it's whatever with me. You can call me Nicodemus, Bloody Rivers OG. Dirty knuckles on the scene, here to stay, so deal with it. March to the beat of my own drum, always been a misfit. Ain't never had no time for you God and Jesus bullshit. Just try and take me out and I'll be like, not today, bitch. Cause I'll rip your head off and knock you flat on your ass. It goes to all your haters coming up talking all that backset. Talking and the like, man, it don't even faze me. You're dealing with the guy that roasts himself on the daily. Kinda fat, my rhymes are whack, plus I'm kinda ugly. I ain't doing this rap shit for the fame or the money. And I got a loaded 12 gauge, pocket full of shells. One blast from this beast and it'll send you straight to hell. Blow some holes in your lungs, what you gonna do then? Wrap you up in trash bags, throw you in the garbage bin before you come around trying to go on the attack. Best remember we're a family and we got each other's back.
Bloody body, bloody river, make you cry, make you shiver, make you drown in your fear. Blurry vision become clear.
Hashtag no comment, even though I've got a lot to say. I'm humble, but if you stumble my way, you fumble and mumble. But fuck respect, I owe no debt to you or anybody. So copy paste it both and get hurt all over nothing. By the fucking fun and I'm not just a light-headed. Too much time invested, embedded and dedicated. Go ahead and fucking hate us. We get it all the time, taking into consideration that we ain't no fucking minds. Me and CTC been doing this shit for a long time, and now we got soldiers that are right there on the front lines. So throw down, so bat out, you weak-minded bitches. Decapitate the victims through the strong-minded demons. Speak for some many, but be quiet for a few. When it comes to stupid feuds, we squash them into two. We got too much to lose. Personal and business side of things, even the brain would have a dark ends gang.
Bloody body, bloody river, make you cry, make you shiver, make you drown in your fears. Blurry vision become clear.
Alright then my friend, here we go again. They keep on saying that they don't know what I'm thinking. You ever close your eyes without ever blinking? Maybe I'll float to the bottom and my feet will sink in. Muddy river, bloody river, it's so deep. Stop looking at me like I'm some kind of freak. I'll grab a shotgun and blow a hole through your cheeks. Watch how you speak, cause we them gangsta geeks. I don't even care that you're saying I'm too weird, that I got a bunch of bugs and blood all up in my beard. While you study me, I'll be over here, feeding all the monsters that are living in my ear. They feed us on your fear, your negativity. The only me that I can be is the only me. Be quiet and be still, I can keep on real.
Never giving a fuck at all how you feel. Bloody, bloody, bloody river, make you cry, make you shiver.
They call me Richard the Ripper, and I'ma tell you why. Cause I can rip open your skull with the blink of an eye. There's a problem with my brain, but I can't explain it. So I just kick it in my room, writing about Satan. Sick to hear about all of that fucking money that you made. So I'ma have to make a visit, take it all away. Never fire a gun, I prefer a knife. I like to cut you into pieces when I take your life. I'm a creep who likes to leap in front of moving cars, call it a hit and run, even though when you were parked. I ain't afraid to die, even though I don't prefer it. I'd rather stay right here on earth than write these fire verses. Murder a beat like it's a stripper on Tuesday. I write what's on my head, don't give a fuck about what you say. Stay reppin' 901 right out of Mississippi. Don't ever play no games, but that is not how I am living.
Bloody body, bloody river, make you cry, make you shiver, make you drown in your fear. Blurry vision become clear.
Creed. Leave you speaking, bleeding to pieces. They kiss a hand grenade. I'm something twisted, dirty, image like the house of pain. Rotten to the core. I love the sour taste of human brain. I was hating till they smell the evil hit the grain. Catch you in the street, and when I meet you, I'ma let it rain. In search of bitches with the bomb type of
Hot pocket.
I keep my third eye open.
Let Mr. Rock Topic.
Shout out
Mr. Off Top.
Yeah.
It's like I live for revenge. I've been fucked with my family. I've been fucked with my friends.
I swear to God, I'ma kill him if they try it again.
I'm off the deep end, mentally living in sin. I got no conscience. I got no patience.
I love to rage quit.
Business
is the biz.
Yeah.
Blurry vision become clear. Bloody body, bloody.
That was a real fun song.
Make you cry.
All right,
Man.
all right.
I love that shit.
Yeah, that was a really, really fun song. Everybody said they liked my verse. I was proud of it, you know.
Yeah, I was like, there was one guy that didn't understand your verse, and it was my dad. He was like, "Why is he talking about he been fucked by his friend?" I was like, "That's just his situation, man." He's
I mean,
he's like, "Why's it gotta be so violent?" I'm like, "Dude,
hey, look, Germ, for one, what you mean I ain't killing nobody? I didn't kill nobody on that track. Was that what you're trying to say, bud?
All right, man. All right, so where do we put? Let me go to my fucking reference shit for what I sent you. Because, like I said, if I didn't have this reference, my fucking ADD brain, I'd be like, oh, yeah, and remember back that time? You know? So, run this shit up. All right, topics to discuss. Why C-Mock, unfortunately, was ultimately a dead-on arrival persona. We've covered that.
Yes.
The problem with Joey, we've covered that. The on and off beef with Colin. And I've talked about the two shows, and this is not something to go into great detail with. But the problem was essentially that we had two different visions for what each other thought we should be doing, and then he ultimately would leave rap, go to black metal, and then want to come back, and then he'd be in the middle of a project for rap and then go to black metal, and it just finally got to the point where I was like, fuck this shit. I'm done.
He was just kind of all over the place, huh?
Yeah, like at least with Joey and C-Mock, and even now, I'm primarily rap. With him, it was he always loved black metal, and that's fine and great, but don't start promoting this damn project or mixtape like you're gonna fucking come out and release singles for it, and then, oh, by the way, y'all, I'm going back to black metal. Fuck the rap scene. So the biggest issue I think I had with Colin after all of that was when he did decide to try to stick with the rap deal. He got mad because he was not getting asked, I should say, to perform on bigger shows than just the occasional one at Rock House. He, Tom Ski Mask put together like 2 or 3 shows, and every time it was the Ain't Nothing Sweet people. And Colin didn't understand why they were getting more opportunities than him. And I was like, Colin, dude, they have a good sound. They're what's popping right now. Just fucking go with it. I was like, also, we both need to develop our shit. Mine, at least you can kind of tell what I'm saying. Yours sounds like it was recorded in a fucking basement, with no fucking padding. It's not
on
bad.
a cell phone. No,
it's not bad. You could use some.
He just
work
needed to
in
get his
some areas.
production up a little bit. Huh?
Yeah, he needed some work in some areas, and he wasn't too great at dealing with criticism, and neither was I, to be honest. We both know that, for God's sake. We know that I couldn't take constructive criticism, much less deconstructive.
Well, everybody wants to be the man,
Right. It was, this is my shit. You don't see my vision. And it was what it was. But Colin, just the on and off lost me a lot of credibility with a lot of people because they thought that that's how I did business with everybody. Colin was a special case because he's like my motherfucking brother. We had been there for each other in times, not in music, where shit just hit the fan. So it was one of those type deals where I was so frustrated with him not having a clear vision and him also wanting to be the hot shit. Like the only reason he thought he was hot shit was because apparently at one show he got the crowd chanting or something, and it was like, okay, cool. But other than that, I don't have an issue with Colin other than he is me in the sense of he will talk his fucking ass off. Like he will fucking go on Facebook, or used to. I don't fucking know anymore. But he'd go on Facebook Live and he'd call out Ain't Nothing Sweet and say they were lip syncing, and he'd call out Tom and say that he doesn't understand why he's not getting the opportunity. And, he just was real mad about everything. So all of a sudden he goes, fuck it, I'm retiring from the Memphis rap scene. And everybody went, okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to be, he can still do his own dream, live it out or whatnot. He just doesn't have to do it with them. I mean, there's no reason to, get upset and soured by the whole experience, I mean.
The deal with Colin was, and I know I've had 3 or 4 different names, but mine were because of my situation. Colin went from like, when we first started doing the rap shit together, and I was C-Mock, he was going by the name Jax, which was apparently a tribute to somebody he knew or a play off of something. And his metal name was Jack Marvelay. So he already had 2 names going that were not his name. Then he decided Jack was too close to Jax and was like, all right, I'm going to have to figure out a new name, and went by this name Carbon, which apparently was some nickname he had. He was called Carbon Monoxide or something like that. And I was like, dude, don't put Monoxide in your name because it's obvious you like Twisted. It's going to look like you're fucking ripping off Monoxide from Twisted. I wanted to call the dude, he was from the Ghost or Ghostface or Ghoul, you know, some shit like that for what I thought he was doing to match his goth image, you know, because that was kind of the deal was he always had a goth image no matter what genre he was doing. But he ended up going with Carbon, and then he was tossing around the idea of going by Birdshot, which was fine. And he ended up settling on, well, it has to do with his last name, play on words, and that's fine.
Oh, okay.
And then he came up with Johnny Maximus. I don't know how the fuck he came up with Johnny Maximus. I really don't. But that's where he started getting more show opportunities. While I was busy trying to get my shit together in Washington, Colin took that opportunity to try to boost himself. He apparently performed a song at Halloween with Richard the Ripper.
Yeah, Richard the Ripper.
That was the guy whose name I forgot earlier, the little brother. But then he performed a couple shows that 3G put together and then got mad because one got shut down because somebody big had to pull out. And it was Colin always put himself in positions he had no place to put himself in, like saying that, oh, you're a piece of shit because you had to pull out of a show. We should have been able to do that show, you know, that kind of
shit. So all
these
bad experiences kept piling up on him.
Right.
It turned into a bunch of, like a stack of letdowns, and then it just kind of.
And let me say this for anybody that knows Colin and, you know, hates Colin, he's a lot like me in the sense of he is a good guy with a good heart. He's just also had a shit hand, and how he deals with it is not how everybody else would deal with it. So that's just where a lot of people went, okay, fuck this guy. 2019, we put that show together, and because I don't have a license, even though the fucking venue is not but about an hour's walk from where I am, he had agreed to pick me up because I had fucking equipment to take, my guitar, my fucking amp, all this shit. And he shows up late. He leaves late. So we're like an hour late to this show that he put together.
Wow.
And he didn't understand why I was mad about this. I said, do you not realize how fucking unprofessional this shit looks on both of our ends? And he goes, no, it's my show. I go, dude, it's your show and you're a fucking hour late. You're not that big of a fucking rock star.
If I'm booked for something, my whole day is fucking shot. I don't care what comes up. From the moment I wake up, everything's got to be dictated in order to a degree to make sure I make that fucking date or appointment, you know?
And it'd be one thing if he had to come from Olive Branch to go to Memphis and then pick me up and then go down the road a little ways to get to the venue. No, he had to go from Olive Branch to fucking Coldwater to pick up the girl, the fiance of the guy who died, and bring her to pick me up. And then we had to fucking make it to the venue after loading all our shit. So it was just a big clusterfuck, and it was like, God, I hope this night works out. It did, but it was the same thing with the booking. It was, you know, it started out, Colin wanted 3 sets of each of his personas, you know, the fucking Mordor, the fucking Johnny Maximus, and whatever the Scarlet Shadow or some shit like that was like supposed to be alternative rock as opposed to black metal. And I was like, dude, nobody wants to see you 3 times. On top of that, each set was going to be like an hour. And I was like, nobody wants to fucking see you for 3 hours already of what's supposed to be a maybe 5-hour show.
Sounds to me like he tried to squeeze a lot in, and it was just too much pressure as is on top of all that shit. He should have just took it one show at a time, maybe. I felt.
Yeah, and he tried to. Like he wanted this to be a big deal. Like he was, and this is another issue I had. The booking was not official with Rock House. So he got on Facebook Live, and I swear to God, told people to flood the fucking message page, go to Rock House in person, and demand this show. And I'm like, yeah, we're not going to fucking have this show if they do that.
They're going to kick you out of that motherfucker and say, don't come back, don't try to book anymore.
Right, then on top of that, I'm going to get banned, and then I'm really going to have fucking heat with you.
Because the Rock House, they're always booking artists and acts and stuff, and they've got a full plate as it is, and they try to keep it that way because it's a business to run. Right. This one little guy with these big dreams and all these plans with very limited amount of time is not going to make a difference. But if you make it hell on them, they can fucking come back and be like,
here's the deal with what I've learned. You can have big dreams, but don't fucking use them as actions. Fucking use them as motivation. You know.
Very good.
Don't try to fucking do everything at once because you have it envisioned in your head that you're gonna fucking sell out FedEx Forum with a fucking benefit show. And and respect to the guy that died. I understand that situation. I loved his family when I met him. They loved me because I was playing music that was enjoyable as opposed to something they didn't like. But at the same time, we're in Rock House Live. We don't have the fucking, staged amphitheater sound. We're playing at a bar that can hold maybe 500 people total.
Shit, not 500.
Total.
Maybe 100, and that's pushing it unless you count outside or anything. I don't know.
No, I've seen it packed. It can hold more than 100, but
I know they were just starting back then years ago to open up the back pavilion and let people go outside, and then you back then you're like mushed up, but
yeah. And me and the guy who died's mother and the fiance and another friend went out back there and talked and had to kind of really, I guess, apologize to each other for a lot of what Colin was doing at the time with the show and just how he was driven. And we liked that. It was just he didn't understand there are certain things you don't go about certain ways. And so we were sitting there talking to him about it, and it never fucking happened because all hell broke loose anyway. And we had an issue personally between me and him that we're not going to go into because that's a whole nother story. But
okay.
I'm trying to focus mainly on music now. But after that show, literally a week later, Tom Ski Mask was coming to Rock House with Cody Crazy and Mauser, and they were doing a 420 tour, the party never stops type deal. And they agreed to let me do like a 5-minute set at the very beginning. Here's the problem. That show was not promoted properly. So when we performed, we were basically performing for each other, and it was broad daylight when it started. So like there's no lighting presence. I'm performing in the sun inside. And that's where Nick and I got back to being cool. I had bought a couple shirts from him, but Colin wanted me to fucking let him get on my set with one of his songs. I was like, dude, I only have 5 minutes. It's not like I have, 10 minutes and we can split 5 and 5. And so then he went to try to fucking beg for Cody or Tom to give him a 5-minute slot. And they said, dude, we're fucking packed. Like,
yeah, you got to pay for that time. He should have just respected everybody's slot, and said, look, maybe next time, or shit, you could have let him come on and hype man.
I tried. There was nobody there to fucking hype up. That's what I'm saying. There were 5 or 6 motherfuckers there.
Yeah.
And this is where I guess I'll get into the issue with the fucking Memphis Underground and all that. When you go to these shows, there is an obvious lack of enthusiasm and support. I'm sure you've seen it, Cree, because you've been to a couple, but they're not motherfuckers. Dark Hills Gang tries to get people to stand the fuck up and come to the stage. When it's at Rock House, motherfuckers want to sit at their table and drink their beer and just kind of be like, yeah, whatever. That kind of bullshit is the entire mentality of the fucking Memphis Underground.
And that's what pisses me off. The Dark Hills Gang are such hard workers. They do their own merch, their own advertisement, their own recording, mixing. I mean, DeBrain and Cobra, they are just, man, they are their own project. There is no label backing them. There is nobody coming to their side and going, hey, let me try to help you out here or in this corner of business.
They wouldn't want it anyway.
Yeah, like these dudes are such hard workers. How come they're not established? I'm so angry at that because they deserve it. They've put the time in. I mean, they've got all this thing, like all this is under their own power. And it's like, I really wish and hope for the future that they get somewhere they need to be.
Well, not only
because they deserve it.
Not only are they not really, they are established. They are more established than a lot of people want to give them credit for. But that's exactly what goes into my next statement.
I'm saying they should be bigger than what they are now.
Yeah, they
should be the main events of this and that, and they deserve it. They've been putting their own work all these years on their own, self-motivated. I mean, we sat here and talked about the last hour, your dark times and the hard times. We haven't even.
These guys
Man,
were
if I
almost
interviewed
on
those
Psycho
guys,
Path.
it would take days and different parts to cover everything because they've been through so much and still are. You know,
These guys were in the fucking Underground Psychos tournament and made it to the finals before having to pull out. You know, that's what.
yeah, didn't they? They almost won, but it was like Axe Murder Boys.
Yeah,
got
the same year
chose.
Axe Murder Boys won. It was allegedly supposed to be Dark Hills Gang.
There would have been no Young Wicked or Axe Murder Boys. You would have been hearing about the story of the Dark Hills fucking gang from Memphis, Tennessee.
Well, sort of, you know, because then Psychopathic would have owned the fucking name and, you know, the image and all that shit. So, you know, I can see the issues there, but they didn't go to the final. Like, they were supposed to, and they pulled out, or Dustin or somebody, one of them pulled it out and said, all right, it's too screwy and whatever. That's not my story to tell. Where I'm going to come in and start to defend these motherfuckers is a lot of people go, oh, I'm the best in the underground. I'm the reason the underground's flowing. There would be no Memphis Underground without Dark Hills Gang. The same time that these guys reunited and got everything popping and came up with the whole showcase style show like we're used to doing now, fucking the big dogs like DJ Zerk and everybody wanted to come back out of the fucking woodwork. Memphis was fucking dead. I thought I was the only motherfucker that was going to be an independent rapper in Memphis until I opened up for Twisted and met these guys. Like, I legit thought there was nobody fucking here in Memphis.
Well, the thing with Memphis music is, I want to say the Dark Hills Gang was a great representation of the horrorcore from Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee is more of a rap scene. If you put it in the rap terms, the OGs like DJ Zerk and Tom Ski Mask, they were reigning champions back in the day. To me, they still are, but, you know, time moves forward, everyone gets older, and things change. You can't control that. It's out of your hands. Like, there's this one rapper. He's an old rapper. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I was jamming some of his music. I hate to say it all like this because there's so much coming on at one time, but Tommy Wright the Third.
Yeah,
That guy is still out, still around, doing his shit. And, you know, how come these people down here didn't get international shine? I mean, they did to a degree, but how come they never got to, like, how come their projects never got to span, like, how come 3-6 Mafia is the only representation of what Memphis rap was?
Because the same
you know?
bullshit happened then that is happening right now, and that is that it has become an oversaturated market.
Thank you. Let's talk about that. I mean, do you have any words about any of that, or?
Oh my God, we'll be here for fucking hours, but I'll keep it short and simple.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna name names of who is what, but in this current, it used to be you could tell the difference between the independent scene and the underground scene in Memphis, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody starts independent, underground, whatever.
Well, no.
They get taken on.
You could tell by the different styles of music. Like, one was more grimier and had that fucking gritty texture in it, and the other one was more pristine.
Are you talking about like the samples, like back in the early 90s?
No. I'm talking about the overall, like, how, if it was to be big, who these people would be working for, and you could tell who they look up to and who their influences are. The underground was always guys like the ICPs, the Tech Nines. Tech Nine would be the pinnacle of the underground for a lot of underground people. And then the independent scene would be more like NBA Youngboy and all these fucktards now that make it cool to be a mumble rapper. This is where the issue in Memphis came. The independent scene was guys like Cody Crazy and Nova and Mauser. And, you know, Tom Ski was the pinnacle of that scene because he had made it out of the underground. He was well known in Memphis. Underground is not that well known. Well, when 3G started doing these showcase
it's like
shows,
you're just a hometown rapper at that point.
Right.
You're not really that big yet, you know.
When 3G started doing these showcase shows and all the same motherfuckers were on the same show, every show, it just became one big clusterfuck scene. It was not, there was no diversity. Everybody sounded the same except for Dark Hills Gang and 3G and Tom Ski Mask. Those were your three. Everybody else, it was like, okay, I just heard this guy look like a fucking 300-pounder. You know, the last act sounded like this. Then you had guys who came not from Memphis, but they made it big in Memphis, like Broke Boy 6, who had a different style about them. Like you said earlier, a live show from Broke Boy is an experience. It's not something you can exactly describe and it sound good, but when you go, you understand what somebody's trying to say. The first time I saw one, I thought an exorcism was happening because one of the dudes was on the floor like fucking. I was like, okay, what the fuck?
Well, nothing beats a live show, straight up, hands down.
Nothing beats. You
can watch a music video put together by somebody really nice, and they got good editing and all that. But until you see that artist live, you don't really feel them, and that's what I'm trying to stress.
And nothing beats a live show without crowd participation. And that is what we do not get in a lot of these shows in Memphis. It is literally motherfucker will rap his song and then have to say make some noise to get a little it's that type of shit.
Woo! In the back. Yeah, we all, look, hey, when I was doing my sets up there on the Halloween, I don't know which Halloween, I think it was the first Halloween I went to, maybe.
Personally, yeah, because I wasn't there.
Imagine how I felt. I'm like a nobody, a no face, no name. To me, I'm fucking the greatest, okay? But to these people out holding their beer in this little tiny venue, I have to like fake it and have the energy, and it's so hard. And it's like, man, everybody has to go through that, though.
All right, now take that and put it against somebody. I'll put myself in your shoes, all right? Because I used to do all my shit with no backing tracks except the instrumental. I've changed that because it now is easier for me to take breaths and do what the fuck I want to do with it. But when I was doing just the instrumental and rapping live and nobody really gave a fuck, and then you had guys like Cody Crazy and Mauser and Nova who had their full-on tracks and they were mastered, almost studio quality, people are going to go towards that more anyway. In my opinion, it just sounds better. You can understand.
Is this telling you something? Maybe you should up your production or maybe pay that little extra to get that type of quality.
Exactly. And that Stevie Stone song that you played at the beginning of the show is the only track I've ever paid for mixing and mastering on. All the rest of that shit is me. And the Light Years song that I guess we could play later, I did the beat on that one.
Yeah, I actually listened to that earlier.
So, it's one of those deals of I'm always observing and seeing what the fuck I need to do to up my shit. That was another issue between me and Colin, was it always seemed like he thought his was good enough as is. And fuck anybody that doesn't like it. Mine is fuck anybody that doesn't like me, but if I don't like it, I'm going to up my shit.
Well, you should always be working towards greatness at all times. And yes, Germ, I am a legend in my own mind. If it's up to me, I'd say to myself, I'm the greatest motherfucking rapper of all time. You've got to have that mentality or else you're not going to show it, okay?
Fun fact, man, when I tried to, when I was C-Mock and I tried to have my own little label that eventually got stolen out from me, I had Chris Cree on the fucking roster. Remember that shit? Mayhem Records and Bloody Murder Music, and I realized...
Yeah, it was the Bloody Murder. We all have high hopes for everyone, and my work ethic is a lot different than others. Like I said, the hopes and dreams and expectancies do not match up in the equalization of things in the end. I guess you just kind of get in where you fit in. Like, I liked music. I loved it. I got into... Like, when I'd met you guys, I already had a studio established. It was my lifelong dream to a degree when I became a musician to have my own studio. Well, I hit that pinnacle, and I got bored with it because of the editing and the work, and just my creativeness was kind of becoming stale, and it was paining me to deal with all that. And I was like, well, maybe I need to sit the fuck down, analyze shit and let, the thing with music is if you sit down and take a break, you could get bypassed by other young hopefuls. And
done it twice, about to do it for a third time, so I get it. But and this, let me ask you this before
I get joy from this, so maybe I wasn't meant to be the greatest musician or rapper.
I've always wanted to fucking do podcasts. You know what the problem is?
What's
for
that?
Me? Nobody knows who the fuck I am, so it's like, what the fuck is
shit? Nobody knows who the fuck I am, but I mean,
they did. They already knew. Your friends knew who you were and all that. I didn't have that luxury, and at the time, I thought about going into podcast, and I'd just become the biggest laughing stock of the fucking underground. There's the fucking difference.
I mean, to me, it's talk radio. I mean, you either like it or you don't. I love talking. I talk my ass off. I'm full of shit. I mean, there's nothing you can never not have me talk about. I'm a chatterbox. I am guilty of that.
All right, so you asked me what I thought the biggest problem besides the crowd participation was in the underground. And I'm just going to come right the fuck out and say it. Motherfuckers will get on Spotify and buy these fucking promotion packs and get like, okay, I'll give you an example. This chick used to be a fucking bartender or a stripper or whatever the fuck. Decides because she's dating a rapper, she can become a rapper, right?
I guess.
Puts out a song that is utter trash, on top of the fact that the material sucks and doesn't hardly rhyme. Buys a promotion pack, and so does her whole little fucking label about what they're doing with their business. So it looks like they're making moves. You know, they get up, all of a sudden go from 5 plays on Spotify to like fucking 50, 60,000, right? And expects people to not fucking call them out on their shit of, hey, sorry, your shit sucks, for one. And number two, there's no way in 2 days you went from 5 plays to fucking 50,000.
Well, some of those play packs that these people are purchasing, there are sub companies that when you pay for these packs, there are people lined up that they too get paid in a sense to review music, play it. And of course it's going to tweak the numbers.
But
now,
not 60,000 of them motherfuckers.
Have you ever thought about buying? It's almost like what they call botting for views.
Exactly.
Online.
It is botting.
Have you ever been tempted to pay like the little $20, $30, $40 here and there just to spike you up about 100 plays every other 2 or 3 days? I mean,
hell no. And here's why. And this is the problem I see with it. You got these fucking venue owners and you're trying to get a show with these numbers. You're like, yeah, I'm hot shit on Spotify. And you fucking put the show together. And only 5 people show up out of those 60,000 viewers you say you got. Not 100, not 50, 5.
Well, the internet's a motherfucker. There is no borders or boundaries. Anybody from anywhere can participate and view your music. It's going to look better on paper, but your gripe is like homegrown plays, like people in the area influence immediately.
Everybody needs some fucking technology, all right? But no, you get that point. And then these same people that have bought this promotion pack and whatever to make it look like they're popping, they need to also reinforce that image like they have some people's support, right? So they buy an interview and they go on and promoting themselves as the new hottest fucking label shit in Memphis. And it's like, okay, let's see what the fuck they say. And this group comes together with this same spot that they do the interview with. And they put together a contest that is a ripoff of something a friend of mine has already fucking done. Saying
stolen idea?
It's a stolen idea, but they're claiming it as their own. And the idea is it's not a rap battle. It's just seeing who's the best rapper in Memphis. Now, if you put that contest together, should any of your people be allowed in the contest?
As in like voting or?
No, as in performing to win the contest. And you already got one person in the judging hosting spot.
So you're saying these people kind of had insider help to a degree in the voting?
Still do.
I guess.
Still do. It hadn't happened yet. It's happening right now. This is the shit. This is what me and I was in a fucking Facebook beef with this chick because me and my brother Nick called her out on her bullshit. Like, there's no way you can expect us to believe you really have 60,000 plays. And she got in her fucking feelings, man. But like, goddamn. And we called everybody out. And one of the motherfuckers wanted to fight and thought I was dumb enough to go all the way out to fucking Fraser on his turf, where if I beat his ass, he can call the cops and say I came and broke his shit. And then come to find out that motherfucker can't even fight and has people fight for him.
Well, this is what you do. If somebody comes to you with that kind of competition, you tell them you're not going to settle this with fists. You're going to settle this in the booth. The best of the best rapper.
And I did. I put out a fucking...
Have a fucking diss war. Have a track war.
Go listen to Light Years. And no, it doesn't have fucking 50,000 fucking plays, but all the plays on it are generic. And I fucking dissed the shit out of them in the second verse. and with straight facts of what it looks like from an outsider's perspective of what the fuck they're doing. And I wrote this a month before.
I love a good beef. I love a good rap audio beef because it lets me see what the contenders have against each other. Like when Drake and Meek Mill went at it, Man, that was the nicest shit ever. I'm like, you know what? Aside from who can go to whose town and whoop whose ass,
Right.
I want to see who's got this colossal, like, gladiator fucking mentality with a pen and pad in the booth. You know, that's what I want to see. That shit to me is worth more than a fight.
There's only one advantage this particular person, the guy of the group, has over me, and that is that he can actually get a crowd invested in his show when there is a crowd. Because he doesn't fucking let up. I fucking feel like, all right, well, if that's the most noise they're going to make, I'll try it again. If they don't, fuck it. But with that being said, his idea of settling this would be for me to enter his competition that's already looking rigged because you got 5.
It's like it's in his favor.
Right. 5 of your motherfucking guys in this competition with 16 people. And the winner gets like $300 and fucking a custom championship belt. You know, and it's like, and I've looked at the fucking entry.
If you show up, you get to get personally humiliated, and then you still lose the competition. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to say, let's throw down in the studio. We're going to do these tracks and let the public decide, not your people. We're not going to have your paid people vote in a contest physically.
And here's the deal. I've looked at the fucking entrance. They've released all 16 of them. 4 of them are fucking on the label that the guy put together. There are only 2 out of the fucking 16 that are not this guy's guys that I hope have a chance of winning. And one of them fucking deserves it. And if he doesn't, I say it's already been fucking rigged. Fuck it. But when you have your girlfriend hosting and at first judging until people called this bullshit out, and you're entering in the contest, it's like the fucking proud mother, proud father syndrome of, oh, you did so good, baby. I'm going to put you in first fucking place. Here's your fucking participation trophy. Like, it's that kind of shit. And this is
Yeah, I wouldn't even cater to that shit. I'd be like, make it more fair on different terms and let the people decide. You know,
and here's
that's my input.
Here's the whole issue. These are the people that are fucking making the most noise right now, so they represent our scene. Motherfuckers they used to work with don't even fuck with them like that anymore.
Damn.
And so you're seeing this fucking shift, and I'm like, okay, this market is oversaturated, full of bullshit, no fucking support whatsoever. And then they complain about that. When we were doing this fucking Facebook bullshit, you know, back and forth dissing.
Yeah.
They talk about what happened to the love and support of all the artists in the underground. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. It would be something if you supported the motherfuckers you actually liked, but you haven't supported a motherfucking one of them. You've leached on like a parasite and thought, oh, I'm going to ride to the fucking top. And that's exactly what happened. He leached on to guys like Tom Ski Mask and guys like 3G and rode that wave up until finally he felt big enough and broke off, did his own shit, and now he has this rigged competition. He's got these fucking bought Spotify plays to make it look like he's good on his own. You know, he buys these interviews and buys fucking local access TV time to fucking say, look at me, mom, I'm on TV. You know, but it's like, dude, polish a turd, it's still a fucking turd. Like, I know that people take me as a joke a lot of times with my music, but they've seen the fucking growth. So here we are, and the contest is supposedly like after Halloween sometime. I don't even I fucking lost tabs on it. I was just like, this shit's fucking old. And this is why I'm about to I'm making my little bit of an exile again to go fucking. I'm actually probably about to move the fuck out of Memphis.
Really?
Yeah, I'm about to go probably to a audio production school over in Franklin and fucking harness my craft. And when I move back, and also get a fucking degree in business, like music business. So when I come back and harness this shit, I've got a leg up in the game. I know what the fuck to fucking
Well, you
do.
know, rappers are not usually the winners in the whole ordeal. It's the record companies, the engineers, the managers, management, blah, blah, blah. Those are the real winners in this fight, not the people on stage. I mean, I hate to say that, but
you're
I mean,
absolutely
and
right.
I kind of had to realize that anybody can fucking spit like a hot 16 somewhere and
this is
really
why,
mean it and do good, but like, who wins at the end of the day, you know?
And this is why guys like Dark Hills Gang and, you know, myself and 3G really won't sign a fucking contract. Is these motherfuckers are put in the fine print that now they own your fucking creative material, your masters, your fucking name, whatever the fuck. And on top of that, all the money you build up for music video shoots and album production and all that shit, that they pay for because they're your label. If you can't pay it back when your fucking contract is up, you have to re-sign the fucking do more albums for them. That's just you get like I think a dime for every $2 that an album makes. I don't even know if that's the right numbers. But it's the basic comparison that you don't get shit off of your own fucking work, and so you're stuck in this goddamn contract to these big machine, record labels and shit pushing.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about you. You're just a number at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, and here's the other problem. You look at the fucking mainstream and what the fuck it's promoting. Fucking wet ass pussy and Molly and Percocet. Murder, murder, murder. But,
yeah, if you don't fit that type of mold, then you're going to have a hard time, I guess. If you're pushing for that kind of status,
Exactly.
Shit, we just hit the 2-hour mark. I've never, in the history of ever, had a 2-hour long interview.
Shit, man, I can talk for fucking days because I don't fucking have people I talk to about this shit. I sit back and observe, and it's like, well, some people.
Well, I feel like this will be a good interview. That's why I called upon you to,
Exactly,
just
and I want to get in the chat real quick to anybody who's still watching. If you're still watching, see 7 people watching. So
7 viewers, yeah.
Let's see. So you 7 people. If a label puts together a competition and has 4 or even 1 of their own people in it and another one of their people hosting it, do you just say, "Oh, that's just whatever," or do you fucking see the bullshit and how that can be rigged? So let me know in the comments in the chat. Or if I'm just fucking delusional.
We'll give them a second because the chat's always going to be about a minute or 2 behind. So,
right.
Yeah, that's a good question, though.
In the meantime, I mentioned IGH earlier.
Yeah.
And it's still technically my independent label or whatever the fuck. But here's what I've decided to do with it to show that I'm more of a community giver than a fucking ride off somebody's success type motherfucker. I have this thing called IGH Radio, and it used to be on YouTube. Now it's over on Audio Mac just because of fucking storage and, the video bullshit and copyrights. And I put all these people that I enjoy.
Term says rigged.
Exactly.
D-Saw says rigged. There you go. The people have spoken.
And then, they do these interviews before I get into IGH. They do these interviews, and they pre-record them and they say, oh, it's going to be a live interview. But if somebody can get on a live interview and call you out on your shit and you're going pre-record it, no fucking problem.
Yeah. Everything can be edited, whatever.
Right. Yeah. So with IGH, what I decided to do is make this thing called IGH Radio. And it was originally supposed to be like just this Memphis underground bullshit, like for the Memphis underground artists, until I realized how full of shit a lot of them are. And I put these people's songs on it. It's non-profit. It's just play and promote, and it's a glorified playlist basically. But here are some of the bigger names outside of Memphis and just even in general in the underground that I've gotten played on it. Jerry Robinson from Strange Music, not King ISO, but King Cash, and he has a song with King ISO that I played. Jelly Roll was featured on a couple of songs with a guy named King Cold. Shout out to King Cold. I'm technically on his label, but it's one of those deals where it's whatever. Buckshot, the Underground Avengers, Kung Fu Vampire. And now I just hit up, I don't know how many people remember the group Gorilla Voltage, but Clockwork.
Yeah, I hate that they didn't last.
Clockwork has given me his blessing to put his songs up on it. So, here in the next couple episodes, you got all these big names. Then on top of that, you got Dark Hills Gang, the 3Gs. It used to be Cody Crazy and his group. We dissolved that shit because of the bullshit that's going on. Who else we got? We got fucking, I said 3G, the Memphis Recipe. And I want to say this right quick. The Memphis Recipe recently suffered a tragedy. It was Big Hearst and Mac Ramsey, and Mac Ramsey at the start of September passed away in a car accident. So rest in peace, Mac.
Damn, R.I.P.
They were the next popping thing for the Memphis scene in terms of like 3-6 Mafia style. These motherfuckers went on tour, I think, with Lil White, and so it's a big dent. And so I put a couple of their songs on there, especially Mac's last song he released called "I Acknowledge," which when you listen to it now, it's kind of a haunting. What the fuck? He kind of predicted some shit, but
damn,
I use it as this promotion. There are no interviews. There are no fucking ads for it. I don't put ads in the middle of it. I don't know how to do all that shit like David does with the Bloody River podcast, but it's an hour, sometimes 2 hours, depending on how big of an episode I want to do, of straight music that I enjoy, support, and hope motherfuckers will listen to and go, hell yeah, I can dig that. So IGH Radio over on Audio Mac.
You should make a podcast and then you can stream this stuff on your podcast.
Right. All right. So we're looking on this deal, and we've actually covered everything except one, and that is my top 5 slept on artists in the scene.
Let's hear it.
All right. Number 1, VIO. VIO. He is out of Memphis, Tennessee. Maybe a South Haven area, but I think downtown Memphis. He is closer to Juggalo rap, and I met VO actually at a Tech 9 show, and he's a part of, well, I think was part of the street team, and so I've known him, and I actually had known his sister a long time. I used to go where she works and eat a lot. And VO has a different sound that mixes underground elements with some of the more mainstream, a couple of auto-tune spots here and there, but the dude's really good. And I will be sharing links with Chris so that he can, share it on his podcast whenever. But that's my number 5. Number 4, Jay Armand. And Jay Armand comes out of South Haven. There was a time, I don't know where the fuck he went for a while. I think he had to go to college somewhere, but I met Jay Armand at an audition for America's Got Talent, and it wasn't even because I didn't even go there for me. I went there because my fiance at the time had auditioned to sing, and she didn't get on, and neither did he. But we sat down and had a good conversation, and the dude has a natural flow about him and lyricism about him that I have not seen. He has more mainstream than underground qualities. Like, he kind of reminds me somewhat of J. Cole or mixed with Hobson. In a sense. So that's my number 4. Number 3, and it's technically 2 people, but I'm listing them under as one, and that is young rich white boy Digits. Diigitz, Digits, and his partner on stage and in life, they're like brothers. Chris Lex, who is a famous wrestler.
Oh, you're talking about the fucking the Ben's Corner Boys. Fuck you mean? Those are the fucking homies. Look, dude, Danny, he is killing shit. Chris, they are killing shit. And they've been doing their tours. Look, I sold him a few pieces of studio equipment back when they really started to really take it serious. They've come by the house, cut a few tracks with me. They've spent money with me. I've got a chance to watch those dudes grow and do things like those. I am so proud of those dudes.
They have their own conglomerate that they have with 2 or 3 other artists that are good too. But these motherfuckers weren't.
Danny's one hell of a motherfucker. So is Chris. I'll tell you what, hard workers, man. These motherfuckers
were not included on a lot of the shows that were put together. They were the one. I forgot to say them about that.
They were going out doing tours with Jelly Roll and all them out of town.
No. One show. But they were getting out.
No, there was other ones though. It wasn't just one little tour they did. They've been putting in the work. It wasn't a tour.
It was one venue for several different shows. I'm telling you, because I follow these guys with a passion, because I feel like they're so slept on.
I've seen this shit. They go out of town. Now I don't know if they've been doing a lot of stuff here lately, but they were killing this shit last year sometime.
Though, in Memphis, nobody in the scene, they might know who you're talking about. But
they were always at the Rock House Live.
Exactly.
Events.
They were always
I actually had a video I released. They were in it.
Right. They're like the hidden figures, and motherfuckers go, oh yeah, those guys. And then you realize, oh yeah, those guys make music. And it's like, duh, Digits has some of the most beast.
I watched them grow their whole everything when they started taking it super serious. Now, they were rapping before, but then they really started digging in hard. And then that's when I started seeing the progression, the shows, and just the growth, man. I was blown away.
And I don't hear anybody talking about them besides you, me, and maybe 1 or 2 other people. And it's like, what the fuck? These guys have the fucking potential to be the next biggest.
I could dedicate an entire show to those 2. I mean, they're man, I'll tell you what, y'all are missing out.
So we got those guys in the number 3 spot. Number 4, and he has big recognition, just not with underground and independence, is this guy named Robin X. He is a albino guy. He raps. He's out of Orange Mound, and dude mixes a lot of metal elements with hip hop. I can't put him in underground or independent because it's so different of a style. But he just fucking has his own little sound, and dude, I've had him on the IGH radio too, and then Digits and everybody I've mentioned has been on IGH radio, but it's just because I feel like these guys don't get enough of the exposure I feel they deserve. Maybe they don't want it. I don't know, but it's one of those deals.
Maybe they're just not in the right place at the right time, I guess. I don't know.
Can't really say shit. I get it, but so Robin X is my number 2, and then you had to guess number 1 would be the fucking Dark Hills Gang.
Dark Hills Gang.
You had to fucking guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, fucking those are my 5, acts, artists, whatever the fuck you want to call them, that could potentially be the next biggest things if they don't get the buzz I feel they deserve. Some people think, oh, they're at the level they need to be. Maybe. This is my opinion. Fuck if you like it, fuck if you don't. But
yeah, definitely.
And I mentioned earlier these guys, Pointless Rebellion, and basically the deal with Pointless Rebellion is they're just not ready yet. They are like being primed and trained to be ready. Like they're still kind of doing this shit for shits and giggles and whatever, and but they'll
get it one day,
right. So when I look towards the future of the underground, hoping it comes back, or fuck it, if it doesn't, we'll just make a new fucking underground. And so VO and J. Armand are on my list for that, and 3G, he's always going to be the homie because the dude helps out and supports a lot of people.
3G's a hard worker. Level.
And I didn't, I thought, I guess in a sense you did retire, but I always thought your music was overlooked, especially that fucking So Broke track you did. So
I would like to think I got overlooked, not because of, who fucking knows? But I don't feel like I put out trash music. I'm probably not just a flavor of the people that certain people want to hear. So, because let's face it, who don't want to go out and hear, hey, play this Creed track, blah blah. No, I think people get the impression when they hear my music, they're like, oh, he can hold his own. But I'm not everybody's favorite or, something they just want to listen to. But I would like to think in my own right I'm decent,
So with that being said, I want to know, is it all right if I put some of your shit on IGH radio, man?
Sure. Go ahead, man.
Cool. So
just let me know and I'll help play some shit somewheres,
Yeah, and like I said, these little things, they go anywhere from 40, 30 minutes to an hour, and then I do it in seasons. We're in season 2 right now. I actually just released last Friday, season 2, episode 2, and you can find all that over on Audio Mac if you type in IGH Radio and then go to accounts. It's right all there. But this whole back to the whole contest, and I call them the phony music, but and the jack offs, rap offs, whatever the fuck they call it. It's so painfully obviously rigged and just a fucking stunt, but they believe in what they're doing, and they're the ones making the most noise. So this has become the new norm, and people buy these fucking Spotify plays, and then you go on their YouTube or you go on their fucking Amazon or whatever the fuck, and they got like 2-3 followers. It's just when you make something, if you're going to bullshit people, don't make it obvious you're bullshitting people.
Well, you know what they say, you got to fake it till you make it. I've never believed in that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Because sometimes the paying to play or paying to get your plays, it's going to work in your favor to a degree. But the true product's going to stand at the end of the day.
Well, I'm a prime example of fake it till you make it. It don't work always. You get called out on
You're not always going to get what you want, though. Like, you're not the person who you think you are is not how other people perceive you. I had to learn that.
Exactly.
And that's very true. But just above anything else, don't give up if you believe. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you.
Hell yeah, man.
That's the thought for the day. Man, it's been one hell of a story and one hell of an interview. I just want to say that right here, right now.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go ahead and close this thing off because we done covered everything.
We're reaching down to the wind down point, but
but I just want to say thank you so much for coming and spending this time with us. for returning viewers, give a like, give a sub. I'm going to leave this man's information and links to his music in the comment, or not the comments. I'm going to put it in this all once it's edited, and let you all stop by.
On Facebook.
Yeah, share it. Give it a like. Is it okay for people to drop by and give you some criticism or not? Good or bad?
Yeah. Hit me when you go on SoundCloud. Go up in the fucking messenger part. Don't put it in the comments because I don't always see that shit. But if you listen to a track and you think it sounds like shit, go in there and tell me why you think it sounds like shit. If you like something I said, tell me you like something I said. You know, I'm not a fucking dickbag, and I'm the same.
He said,
guy.
"Bring the hate mail."
I'm the same guy that you'll see at the fucking corner store that you'll hear in my music. I'm not the, I'm not the fucking, I'm a hard ass gangster in my music, but you know, and all that shit. I am me, Sam. I am Sam.
Well, thanks for stopping by, man. You're always welcome to come and join the panel anytime I go live, hang out, whatever. If you want, we can line up another interview in the future, and we'll check in and see where you've gone since tonight.
We could do the fallout of this damn competition, and if it's
we'll meet together and do like a rebuttal or something if you want.
Hell yeah, man.
Sounds good.
I appreciate you. Much love to you, and have a good one, y'all, out there in the chat.
All right, y'all be safe. You be safe. Appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for stopping by and watching. For returning viewers, feel free to like, share, give a subscription. We're gonna have some more coming. But other than that, I think it's time to dip. So on that note, I just want to say I love you all. Peace. Crispy Brains out.